Hey everyone, hope everything is going well. Today we have here Splenda Sports and LT, and then Hobby Shark is going to be coming on later today, probably. Anyways, guys, what's going on?
I'm doing great, fellas. Excited to be here and see everybody's faces again. Have some fun chat. How's
What's going
everybody
on,
else
LT?
doing?
Cheers to you, gentlemen. I'm loving this second time.
Cheers.
Cutting a little bit of calories today because Jeff Wilson and Ken Golden. Sorry, I had the names. They took all the Zimas for Super Bowl, so I got the Michelob Ultras. Cheers to you, gentlemen, and your subscribers. AIH.
Yep. All right, Super Bowl Sunday. So, who do you guys think's gonna win? Steve, we'll start with you.
Man, I talked about this with a bunch of buddies the other day. Dude, if Pat Mahomes wasn't Pat Mahomes, I'd probably pick Philly. I think Philly has the edge, defensive line, offensive line. I think they're skill position guys, but I got to be honest, man. I'm probably picking the Chiefs just because Pat Mahomes is that good.
That's what your brother just said. Chiefs.
Well, he's far more high IQ than me. So if he's saying it and I'm saying it, then I'm in good company.
What about you, LT? Oh, you got your Mahomes. You're
Oh,
pumping your
Mahomes.
Mahomes.
Yep. My
There's the
homie,
pump.
but I'm obviously a Ram fan first. But yeah, I'm with Steve. I just don't think you can count out Mahomes, and obviously there's some biasy to it. But playing on a sprained ankle with virtually nothing except Travis Kelce is pretty remarkable. It's pretty amazing. But I think honestly it's gonna be a very close game. But I got Mahomes winning it.
I agree. I think it's going to be close, and that's the thing. Like if it's close, Mahomes is the ultimate weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it's close, he's like Kobe or Jordan. Like you don't want to give him the ball with the last shot.
Yep.
And if it's close and Mahomes has the last shot, the ball lasts. That's tough.
Yeah, the only time where I think he messed up was against the Bengals last year, but that's about it.
Yeah.
And speaking of Jeff Wilson, LT,
it's your boy.
Your persona.
He's back. The impersonator.
Boy, the impersonator. I'm pretty sure we're going to see Brent from PWCC, the persona, and also Crooked Ken.
Nice.
Bob Boozle says, I read the Super Bowl script. It will be a great game.
That's a good point.
Yep, that's true.
Arian Foster would agree.
Kamikaze says he will be limping.
I will say this. I can't stand Pat Mahomes' wife.
Oh, yeah.
And his brother.
He's the worst, man. I mean, he's bad too. Yeah, the brother's bad, but man, what's her name? Brittany or whatever? My God, she is so cringe, man.
Like, how did a guy like Mahomes wind up with her?
Bro, I was talking to some buddies earlier. Like, she trapped him in college. She had to.
No, I think they were high school sweethearts.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
They knew nothing sweetheart about her, LT. There ain't nothing sweetheart about her. She is annoying.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. I like the memes where it goes, hey, Pat, why did we lose? I love those memes.
So Jeff says Will Grier is 4 times better than Mahomes. You guys agree with that?
100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%. Jeff, give me a top 5 video to watch. I need to know what to buy next.
He bought Tiger Woods today. Do you see that trade?
Yeah, I think I saw somebody. Did he trade a LeBron refractor?
He traded an X Fractor, which I was shocked.
It wasn't a rookie.
Really?
It was a 2003. Yeah, it was a bunch of things. So I posted this on my story because one of my subscribers sent it to me, and basically he got a nice Tiger Woods card. There's no doubt about it. It's like I think a PSA 10 out of 10. I think that's what it was. Yeah. But then he gave up, I think, a lot. He gave $5,500 in cash. He gave up a 2003 X Fractor PSA 9, which I think I know a PSA 8 went for what, $15,000, $16,000. So that's a ton. Another LeBron rookie, and then a few cards. I think like a Ja Morant rookie and something else. But that X Factor, I would not give up.
Hell no. I mean,
No.
I guess it comes down to your taste to a degree because you can't like Tiger is. That's a good investment piece to have. Like I hate
was an
using
auto,
that
right?
word investment. Like you can't go wrong with an on-card rookie Tiger.
Yeah, I
But,
think so.
Man, it's
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I know Tiger has a huge following, but a LeBron rookie
Well, you look at both of them. They're both international,
Yeah.
worldwide, and they're both considered GOATs, right? Now,
Yeah.
LeBron's debatable, right, in basketball, but Tiger Woods is the undisputed GOAT in golf. So I don't like giving Jeff credit, but I guess that was a good pick. I don't know. I'd have to do some more digging into that exactly what it is.
Yeah, I'd have to look at more data on the Tiger rookie auto because I guess in my mind, I wouldn't have guessed that would have been that much more than the rookie X Factor to give
There's
up
a PSA
cash
9
and other
though.
cards on
There's a
top.
PSA 9 just as a heads up, but
Mm.
that PSA 9 during the boom was what? I think close to $100,000.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't imagine it. I mean, I was going to say off the top of my head, probably around 70 grand. That I mean, just for a 9, I would guess around. I mean, but I don't know. Just the ballpark.
No.
Oh, I love your subscribers, Raul. I love the comments.
They only get better.
Yep.
Low roller scratcher. Hey, what's going on? So Kamikaze says Eagles running attack is ultimate weapon. You guys agree with that? The running game.
Sure, they have Boston Scott and who's the other guy?
The reason their running game is such a weapon is because
of Hurts.
Hurts, yeah.
He spreads that, like he gives that read option and that he's able to pull the ball out of that option. So he's a threat himself. So that opens things up. But man, I don't think the running backs are that great. I think it's more predicated on
Miles
the fact
Sanders.
that Hurts has the ability to pull it and run. Miles Sanders, yeah, I saw my brother. Miles Sanders he's a good back. I don't think they got some guys, but I think it's more based off of Hurts' ability to run.
Yup. All right, Elegant Elliot says Jackson Mahomes is going to be featured twerking on the 50-yard line for the half.
Is Seablez coming to twerk with them?
I'll tell you this, bro. With all the bullshit halftime shows we have to sit there and watch with all the programming and weird shit, they might as well have Jackson Mahomes up there twerking.
I mean,
Rihanna's the halftime show.
Do you remember Justin Timberlake? He took off Janet
Jackson.
Oh yeah, one time.
Yep.
So, having what's his name, Jackson Mahomes twerking, I think it'd be all right.
Did you see the Grammys? They could do something like that.
Oh yeah,
sponsored by Pfizer.
The devil costume and start twerking with all kinds of demon looking.
Hey, don't give me ideas to them.
Oh, bro, they already have these ideas. It's all called shit.
Rihanna's the halftime show. Rihanna is.
Oh, Rihanna. Is the halftime show sponsored by Pfizer?
Probably.
Could be.
All right.
Sounds like something they'd sink their teeth into. I mean, money. I mean, look here. Look here.
All right, let's look at this. Patches O'Hallahan says Reddick is going to eat Mahomes alive. Jeff has the LeBron Topps Chrome Rainbow.
Is it the rookie? Is it the rookie set with everything?
I don't know, to be honest. Elegant Elliot, Jeff traded a Pop 1 Jordan auto for a James Harden rookie card. Yeah, that was bad.
Oh, I remember that one. Yeah. Bro.
What was up with James Harden? Why were people throwing money into Harden? Remember that sports card invest dude? He's in his 20s. He said he spent like $50,000 on a Harden card.
He's your little brother, right?
My brother.
The Indian kid, right?
Yeah, he's I think in his 20s or something like that.
He gives some of the worst advice.
Yeah, I mean, I said on the comment section, I'm like, why would you be spending that much at this time for Harden? At least like a Jordan.
If you think about it, though, like it was during. I mean, it was definitely during the inflated boom prices and stuff.
Yeah.
And like,
Right.
James Harden did win an MVP in Houston, and
Right.
he was going to Brooklyn.
Yep.
Did he go to Brooklyn right after?
He went to Brooklyn, one of the most failed.
Yeah.
Teamed up with Kyrie and Durant, and I think in the 3-year span, they never played together. And
They
I think it
played
was
like
2.5 years.
16 games.
Yeah, something like
something dumb in 3 years. They barely played.
Yeah.
I agree. I love KD. He's my dude, but that was a failed. Didn't look good.
Well, going back to what you're saying with the Harden is, I think people were anticipating that Harden was getting his first championship with the two, and of course
with that big three in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I think after the MVP in Houston, people were hopeful that if he were to play with those guys in Brooklyn, that they would probably win a championship or a couple, maybe.
Yep.
Speculation, of course.
Yeah, I remember Kyrie. Someone was spending like $20,000, $30,000 on one of his rookie cards at that time. So something crazy. And now,
Yeah.
He's still playing well.
Oh yeah, he's in Dallas with another. Like he's in. I know Kyrie's got it's a wild following, and he's had a weird career, leaving and going places and leaving places. But I mean, he is with Luka. He's with Dallas. Like, it's not a bad situation for him.
We respect Kyrie because he speaks his mind and he stands up for what he believes
in. Sure, yeah. I respect. I don't agree with everything, but I definitely respect the fact that, especially with the medical stuff,
the medical stuff for sure.
For that, 100%.
Yeah,
careful. You're offending me, Steve. Careful.
Let me get my mask on. Hold on.
Yeah, I got in a little. Some of the comment section, came after me this week regarding Kyrie. It had nothing to do with, linking that Amazon link. It all had to do with the jab, and I guess it's quite interesting today. Some people take things as offensive, but that's not your intention.
Oh.
I'm offended.
You're offended?
I'm offended.
Are you offended that KD's now with the Suns?
No, I'm stoked. Piss on Brooklyn and that bullshit government and all that draconian crap they made them guys go through. Piss on them. Like, I get it. It was a failure in Brooklyn on KD and them other guys, but like, dude, that front office is bullshit. The government is bullshit.
The owner is full of
Go out
baloney.
west, go to a state where you have some freedom and not some bullshit, and go ball out, KD. Go ball.
What are you pumping? UFC or basketball?
Yeah, I'm just ripping. Oh, it was gonna be a topic. Sorry, I didn't mean to be rude, but I was. If you'd like to discuss, I stopped at my Target. If you guys follow my IG, I know you guys do. But I went over to Target and got some overproduced retail product. So I just figured ripping on camera would be appropriate.
I'm down.
Look at Steve with his KD collection.
Is that your KD collection?
I'm just watching. I'm not pumping anything at all.
Trying to do your pump and dump scheme here?
Fuck or hell no. I'm not moving my KDs. I'm not moving them. Not now. Listen, if anything, I moved my KD pickups at the exactly right time. What's that? Funko who?
Shohei Ohtani.
Nice.
There you go.
Yep. But yeah. Let's take a look at this. Patches says Harden and Bol is where all my money is going.
Bol's a Laker, baby. Congratulations, LT. You got Ball and Rui.
No, we don't have Bobo. We have Mo Bamba, bro.
Oh, dude, my bad. You're right.
Good. I knew where you were getting at.
I knew y'all got a center that doesn't play that much.
Yeah. We got Mo Bamba
because he's playing with LeBron now.
You got what's his name too? You got that Kyle Kuzma, the guy who dresses really strangely.
Oh yeah.
Did you see that coat he was wearing?
Yeah, it was
the memes are the best.
It looked like he was eating booty. I'm not. That coat looked like legs. It looked like he was eating booty. I mean, that's.
Dustin Poirier.
Oh, that's UFC.
Oh, okay. Now you're okay. UFC. Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, is that optic?
Yeah, it's optic.
Okay.
I just don't know which one. I think this is a Stargate. I gotta look at the variations, but you guys know I'm a big UFC fan, so I'm just ripping it. Come on, we gotta have some topics, bro.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, we will.
I know we got topics. You're just waiting for all the people to come in, huh?
Yeah. Let the people come in. It's Jeff Wilson, Persona. Top 5 VHS videos going this week. Johnny Holmes Volume 2 and Debbie Does Dallas Volume 1, 2, and 3.
Nice. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh man, let's look at this. BK Sports Cards on the phone with addiction counselors. I think I know what he's talking about there. Market Movers top 5 VHS sales do not factor in-person behind the counter deals. Let's look at this. Start pumping Beanie Babies. Beanie Babies can't go down forever.
I support that message.
Yep. Next one, Bob Woozle says Brooklyn Nets front office making players write books on propaganda.
Oh, that's good.
Oh man.
You know, it's funny. I gotta say this. Like, I admit, on my end as a KD fan, it was a failure. But like, people forget. I think was it 2 years ago? Dude, he was a quarter inch from beating Giannis when he made that. It was a 2-pointer, but his foot was on the line. Everybody thought it was a 3.
Yeah.
If KD hits that 3, dude, he might have won a title in Brooklyn. And he didn't have Harden really available, and Kyrie wasn't available. So, like, if you think about it, he lost to Giannis, who ended up winning a championship by 1 point on the in a Game 7 last shot. Like, if his foot was like a quarter inch back, man, he'd have moved on. And I mean, it's easy to say he'd have won or he didn't win, but like, he'd have been playing Phoenix, and I'd put my money on KD. I'm biased, but I'd put my money on KD.
Like, didn't KD have like 40 some points that game?
Bro,
that was ridiculous from what I remember.
He's a dog.
Yep.
I hope they beat the piss out of everybody in Phoenix. I really do. I hope they go off. I mean, and I'm not even saying it for my PC. KD deserves. I don't want to say he deserves. He's done a lot of self-inflicting narrative things, but like, man, give him some healthy guys that just want to ball and let them go. Like, I just and hopefully he can stay healthy. I still think before he got hurt this year, bro, he moved up that MVP ranking real fast. Before he got hurt, Brooklyn was on like an 11-game winning streak. He was balling. Anyway, I'm going to talk about KD. Sorry, guys.
I think you need to stop pumping and dumping your KD cards, man.
No. It's not pumping. It's not pumping. I identify it as not pumping.
We're going to have to put you in the same camp as Curator now?
No. I'm going to gatekeep you if you keep talking like that.
Yeah, Curator's been quiet because he's over in he's on a
Korea?
He's on an Asia trip going around and pumping out there.
Well, in all honesty, I hope him safe travels.
I think he did buy that not K-pop. What's that group? I forget their name. The group out of Korea.
BTS.
Yeah, BTS. He bought like some $300 stickers.
What? A BTS? Huh. What's that?
Yeah.
BTS. They're like a big boy group out in Korea.
A what?
A boy band
group. They're called K-pop. It's called
K-pop
boy
band. That's kind of made up.
All right. Let's get into one of the topics we wanted to get into. Splenda versus Santiago. All right. Who's in my name?
I'm a Splenda fan.
Oh yeah, you're LT Splenda fan. So we'll go with you first, LT. You do MMA. So Splenda versus Santiago. What are your thoughts on this?
Oh man, I've had great conversations with you guys, and before this discussion and stuff, and I just love this. I love this kind of drama and attention. It's always a theory I always use, right? You could have a carnival on the right side, okay, and you can have just two random homeless guys. They got a fist fight, right? You have all this attention in front of you, right? And what do you think is going to steer people's direction? The two homeless guys fighting, right? I'm not saying they're homeless. I'm using the analogy that people are drawn to watching fighting, and especially as I don't know if we go into our names the card misfits or the alpha males, right? Because you guys know how vocal I am on my IG, and Steve, I know Steve backs me up in here, but there's too much baitedness in this stuff, and to see some kind of animosity and watching these guys go at it is hilarious. But C Bless, I respect. You know the fact that he's on your channel. I think it was a week ago, right? And he came out there and we discussed like, all right, you know, does he mean it or is he just saying it just to get more views and whatnot? And then Santiago comes with some ridiculous card battle thing, which I think SCR and Dan, they broke it down, right? Because you guys can break into the product. I know that there's something with the product that's not even like licensed or something. I don't remember the whole things, right? But when you say you're going to settle like men, right? And I know Steve and Hobby will back me up here. It's like when you're going to settle something, you throw fists, right? And you settle it, you have a beer later, and you're good to go. But just to watch the pettiness, just hilarious to me. Is Santiago? I think is scared of C-Bus. That's my take on it. What do you guys think? What do you think, Steve?
I think you're just looking at a different generation. I think we're looking at guys like I don't respect C Bus for coming on the channel and everything. I I don't know. I guess the way I look at it would have never come to like social media beef for me. I always try to put the shoe on my foot because I don't like talking and like, oh well, this person like if it were me, like it wouldn't have gotten to that. I respect C Blaz. I watched him on your channel, Raul, and I got to be honest. He seems like a fun guy. I mean, but I'll be honest. Like if he threw an elbow at me playing pickup ball like that, I probably would have grabbed him up. I'm not against him, but see, like I guess I come from like you could fight somebody, you could literally throw fist, and in 20 minutes you were friends again. Yeah, and I'm not saying I'd like thrown fist and tried to fight Seabass like that, but like if he'd have nudged me with an elbow, man, I'd have grabbed him up. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have done anything like malicious, but it wouldn't have got to social media. I think it's like Dan the Cardman had a good way of take on it, where it's like when you're again, I'm nobody special, but like I play a lot of pickup basketball. People talk shit, things get feisty, and that's like that when you're on the floor, you're in the heat of competition, you just you have a competitiveness, but like once it's done, it's done. Like it's I don't know. To me, it would have never leaked into. It wouldn't have leaked into all of this. But I will be honest. Like at first glance, I have to admit, like after the video, like I saw C. Blez kind of going after the ball, swinging, and he did throw his elbow. I mean, knowing me the way I play pickup basketball, I'd have grabbed his elbow real quick, grabbed him up, and be like, "Man, what are you trying to do?" I probably would have diffused it a little bit different, but I'd have grabbed him up. But again, I didn't understand the whole like proposition with that box break thing at first until I think LT shared the video, and I was still a little hazy. I didn't understand like he was talking about settling it like men, but then he brought up charity. I just didn't understand the full context of it.
Raul, do you know with the box of cards when Dan was breaking it down in SCR on the one that Santiago proposed?
Was it the post that Dan the Cardman had on his story or something like that?
I think it was. I'm gonna look it up right now. But SCR broke it down.
I know SCR post. I didn't see Dan's like story. I just saw SCR's story, and I saw something like his commentary. I don't remember what exactly was said.
I all I know is something about a proposition of flawless or something, some product. Baseball or something, because I watched the video that was sent, but I was trying to piece it all together. I kind of misconstrued like what was the proposition? They were supposed to open up a box of cards and do something for charity instead of fight. That's where I was a little confused on what was all going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the thing is that I remember what's his name? Seablez came on my program saying that he was pissed off at Santiago. He was talking trash earlier before the game. So he went after the ball and after him during the game a little more aggressively than he probably would have. So that was one thing. And then I don't know if you remember, Santiago said in one of his videos that Seablez came to him after the game saying, "Hey, man, everything's cool. Let's just do this for social media."
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if Santiago's lying about that, but I don't know. Are they just trying to create more views for each other, or is
you
it
think of
actual beef?
You think
that's
about
what
it.
I don't know.
Well, you can run with this because Prison God ran the Culture Collision, right? And all the influencers with their little all-star teams and everything. There was a lot of attention on the community, right? So of course they're gonna feast on that, right? And everyone and their mother at the show shared that stuff, right? And you could tell it was, I don't want to say it's scripted because I saw some authenticity there when guys go at it, just like Steve was saying, right? And then maybe they went off and said, "Hey, we'll just do this and kind of run with it and whatnot," type thing, right? But I think I was telling you guys in our group chat is that when you have that much attention and other card people are talking about it, it benefits the two of them. So it's no different from a UFC stare down, right? WWE or whatever, right? You're going to get that attention, right? Those weigh-ins and stuff. I've had teammates and I've talked about how does it go and stuff. It's like we just do whatever we can to get the most attention, right? Because you want to see that animosity and all that stuff, right? But then off camera, everyone's chill, you know. So I mean, if I was them, I'd take that idea and run with it, and it grows my brand. Doesn't hurt them, you know. So we'll never know because we're not part of that.
Yeah, I think you're on it. There's probably a little bit of a marketing aspect. I don't know. It seems like, can I be honest? It seems like a bunch of who really cares? But if there's a marketing end to it, it seems like these influencers will do almost anything to market stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's hard to say. Is it genuine? Is it not? Is this about clicks and shit? Who knows?
Well, if they ever do,
record, neither one of them can guard me.
If they ever throw down, I will be the first one to pay for it or go watch because I would love to see that.
I'm not watching that bullshit. Stop it, LT. Stop the cap. That ain't a good fight.
It was something interesting. I shared earlier with you guys. Did you see Jeff Wilson promote the one of the? He's an okay UFC fighter. I forgot his name, but he, with typical Jeff Wilson with his used car salesman's tactics. Hey, if you go on Market Movers or whatever he was promoting, you could grapple with the UFC fighter. And I just sat there. I was just like, this is just cringe. Like, now we're getting to this level. Like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
We could probably get some UFC fighters through you.
Well, it's interesting.
Yeah,
because what if Dana White, with Panini America, since Panini has exclusive rights to UFC, right? Is Dana White follow the money, right? I'm sure there's going to have like future card stuff and at the UFC gyms and all those things. You could do a lot of stuff with that. I'm not saying UFC is corrupt. I mean, Dana White.
I'd watch Dana White fight his wife for money.
I think I saw that too.
I'd watch it.
Didn't she slap him first?
Oh yeah.
Come on, today's society, Raul, you know the narrative.
Today's society, like if you defend yourself.
Yeah, dude, this is what we fought for, equality, man. You can't be smacking men like that if you want equality. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, like, so if a girl yells at you,
I am not pro ever putting your hands on a woman, but like, hey, with feminism and everything, are you that surprised shit like that's happening? I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that, so if you're in public, if a chick starts yelling at you, you have to just back down. Is that the new rules of today?
I would advise young men to do that. I would advise men to do that. If a woman tries getting in your shit, walk away. You don't
even deal with it. I mean, look at Michael Irvin. He just got accused of something.
The problem is women are approaching men like men because of this feminism bullshit. Like, don't come at me with that uber alpha energy if, like, I'm not allowed. It's social. It's social conditioning. Men are not supposed to. You're not in the realm of physical threat with us. That's men to men. Like if a man comes up to another man like that, yeah. If you get in my space, I'm sticking you. But like women, I don't know.
Piggyback off that.
I disavow what Dana White did, but at the same time, it's like this is feminism for you. Women are out of their biological shit right now. You don't come at. Why would you go at Dana White like that? Husband or not, like if you're gonna do that shit, do it at your house. But like, why would you hit another man in the face like that? And I don't condone what Dana White did. He should have just ate that shit and walked away. I'd have left her. I'd have left the bitch and made her drive. Go find your own way home. But like, I don't know. Again, don't put your hands on women ever as a man. But like, what's going on with these women? You want traditional men, but you don't offer a traditional role. That's what feminism is.
I wanted to bring up one more point.
Yeah.
Is the whole Splenda Santiago thing has got to be a black eye to the card hobby, right? Because what have they been? Remember, I told you guys we're like the card misfits, right? We're kind of the anti, right? Because we're not positive enough. So that's not positive to their hobby, right? No matter how you put it. I'm actually surprised that it's ran that way, right? But all these other card people have promoted this stuff, right? And so, do you think that hurts their community, right? Because we're not part of it, right? Does that hurt their community with this beef? What do you guys think?
So the thing is that the people talking about it, actually, it first started on my channel, actually, ironically, where actually Splenda went on my program, says, "Hey, I want to fight. What's his name? Santiago." And then I don't think really no one covered it except like some people on Instagram, sure.
Yeah.
And then there's Sports Card Radio. So, Sports Card Radio and me, we're considered to be the negative guys of the hobby. And we highlight
once SCR gets it, it goes viral.
It went viral.
Yeah.
Santiago responded to Sports Card Radio.
He didn't message you back, right?
No, he ignored me.
Yeah.
Like I said. But Splenda, was sharing my work earlier on. But I'm pretty sure he knew of that interview that Splenda, was talking that smack. So I'm just thinking, who in the positive side of the hobby was talking about this? Do you know?
I can't say Dustin. I don't think Dustin really talked too much.
He was asked about it in his live stream before.
Is Dan the card man in the negative clan? Like, is Dan considered a negative? I don't know. He's so nice and he's got that wonderful accent. It's hard to consider him.
I love that Aussie accent.
Yeah.
It's therapeutic, bro. I wish Dan would like sing me lullabies and read me fairy tales before I go. Talk about soothing.
So like Dan the Card Man, I think everyone likes him. You got like our end that likes his work, and then you have, like not the positive, but like the other end, right? Even Carlos, promoted one of his videos. So if like Carlos promotes him, so I guess, he only likes only a certain few people. So I'm just thinking that a lot of people like him. And then you either like Sports Card Radio or hate them, or you like me or you hate me or hate my work.
I like you.
There you go.
So, I like you too.
I hate that you don't pump KD cards with me.
I mean, I grew up with MJ, so I mean, why else?
Everybody pumps MJ. You got to think outside the box. And outside the box is.
I mean, I was gonna pump Kyrie cards, but now I'll get like blasted if I do.
Yeah. No, what you gotta pump is Kwame Brown, because remember Kwame Brown, he doesn't want to be like LeBron. Remember his quote?
Kwame be calling people out, bro.
Yeah,
yeah, that was
Kwame got smoke, man. I think it was Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson were talking about him, and dude, Kwame clapped back, bro. He said Becky with the good hair. Oh my god. Oh, that shit was great.
And what's a Stephen A. Smith? Oh man.
Yeah, dude, he went after everybody. God bless. I like Kwame Brown. I used to listen to him when he first,
when he first came out,
notoriety from those videos. So I watched him for a little while. I'll be honest, some of the stuff he says, it's like, damn, this dude, he's on to some shit.
Oh yeah. I mean, I hate to say it, Raul and our childhood hero, Jordan, if you think about when he owned the Wizards, right? He really blacklisted Kwame. Like if you think about it, he
Oh
really
yeah,
ruined his
that's true.
career.
Oh yeah, dude, totally.
Yeah. It starts with MJ, really.
Yeah. So you could thank MJ.
So I have one more thing I was
Yeah.
gonna bring up. So I know we're gonna have a lot to discuss, but since it's in my backyard in SoCal, you guys know the big card show this weekend, right? The Burbank card show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's actually in Ontario, and I made a mockery of it on my IG because I sent you guys a screenshot on Google Maps at 12 o'clock, and it said an hour and 9 minutes to get there. A lot of people don't understand that it's not actually in Burbank. Ontario is in a completely different county. Burbank is part of Los Angeles County, and Ontario is considered part of Riverside County. And if you were to leave during rush hour between 5 and 7 o'clock, it would take you probably 2 hours to get there. So I don't think these influencers understand that that's not Burbank. That's Ontario, and there's some pretty bad parts of it. But I kind of wanted to share that. And no, I will not be going over to the event because out of my LCS's respect, I told them I was like, I don't want to create any drama or, I'm not really that big of a name, right? But eventually I think I'm going to get up there and, maybe I'll be there with you guys one day and I'll have my little cronies around because I'm scared of those sports card
Bro,
influencers.
you
But
bigger. I ain't nothing. I don't know who you're thinking, John. I ain't nothing. I'm just an idiot with a KD collection.
I wonder how the Nationals are gonna be. I mean, like, I wonder if people are just gonna like ignore us or they're
I'm
gonna
a,
like
I,
try to like confront us or anything like
they
that.
won't confront. There's too many betas, way too many. They won't do anything.
hey, I'm trying to have a good time. I think us, I try to be as fair as I can whenever I speak about
I
stuff.
I, I would have fun with you
If
guys. Like,
somebody comes up
oh
to me
yeah,
with beef or whatever, odds are I'm going to try and reason with you, give you a hug and a high five, and
yeah.
I'm not
Well,
trying to. I mean, sure. I mean, you could probably disagree with me, but it's like if you're going to come after somebody, I know I'm not going after
my boy
anybody.
Card Dubs is up here.
I'm trying to find good cards. That's what my mo is, and see good friends, and
No,
everybody about the hobby. I got
well,
friends, all over the place. It's a good thing. I think there's way more positive to look
it is.
something
But
like
what I
that.
love about this group of guys, in when Hobby gets on here, if he does, there's just an authenticness to this. There's no fakeness to it. There's no, hey, we got to put this on the camera. This is raw, unfiltered, And we love cards. We love the business aspects, but we love the
If
relationship
people
and stuff.
start shit and we get in fights and crap, I'm definitely going to do a vlog.
You gotta get a GoPro first, man.
You'll be like, great curator confronted me. Oh man.
I
So
see Card
yes,
Dubs in here.
yeah. He's from LA, right?
I don't know. I like Card Dubs. Card Dubs is a good dude, and he gave.
Yeah, dude, he reaches out on Instagram. Shout
What's
out
up, Card Dubs?
Yeah, man, he's pretty cool.
Oh, look, it's Neo in the
Neo made
house.
it on.
Yeah. Wow. What's
Oh,
going
Neo.
on?
Neo, how
What's
you
up,
doing,
Neo?
bro?
I'm a fan of Neo. I like Neo stuff. I've watched him since
Bro, he's my guy. I can't
I've
lie.
watched Neo since the
My
pandemic.
guy, and every time I see him at shows, dude, we enjoy. I mean,
Neo.
I enjoy his company. I think he puts up with me more than anything. But
I
he
remember
said,
when he was Northeast Ohio Sports Cards.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's how much I remember you, Neo.
and you
You
know
got-
what? Not everybody agrees on everything all the time, but dude, I appreciate the content he does because it's like he brings up data charts. You know what I mean? I appreciate that. That's why I follow his channel.
Yeah, I know Neo and Filmington, they're pumping J-Rod now.
I think everybody
Really?
is.
Yeah. No, it's a joke.
Oh,
I'm just messing around.
Look, hey.
Yeah, I was messing with
saw the
Filmington the
comment.
other day.
My Amish cuddle buddy. We're going to Shipshawana for that show at the beginning of next month. And we're staying at some like Amish resort.
nice. I told you,
we're
Steve,
gonna be
I'm
riding
gonna come
carriages. We're gonna be riding carriages around the facility. We're gonna be churning butter and shit. It's gonna be great.
I'm gonna come out your way, Steve. I'm gonna bring some of my army stuff because I'm used to sleeping in the field, so it wouldn't be much different going Amish.
From the looks of the place, it's like it's on its own. There's not a lot around it, so
Is
it
it
should
like
be.
Dwight? You seen The Office, right? Dwight, like you remember he has the beet farm. Is it like that?
Say that again.
Have you seen The Office? You watched The Office, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Remember when Dwight has the beet
Wade
farm?
has
Is
his
it like
beet
that?
farm. Yeah, buddy. Me and Neo are gonna be. Well, never mind. That would have sounded terrible. That'd have been super sus. I was gonna make a joke, but I stopped myself. Pause, as they say. Pause. Never
So
mind.
I know. So I know LT, you were talking earlier about how the show is not really in Burbank, and then Steve, you said something about Cleveland. You were saying something earlier before we came on. It's the show is not in Cleveland, right?
Well,
But-
honestly, now that Neo's in the chat, I don't know the exact county, but it's at the IX Center, and it's outside of Cleveland. It's a good I would say it's probably at least 20 minutes from the city. Maybe Neo can double. It's more in his area code, so I'm south to all that. But from what I gather, the IX Center is probably 20 minutes from the city, so I don't know if it's technically Cleveland. But it's not like when you're thinking of downtown Cleveland, it's nowhere near downtown Cleveland. So it's kind of like it's like, to my understanding, the IX Center is like it would store planes and stuff like that. So it's like these big warehouses in the middle of cornfields, all by itself. There's no hotels, no restaurants around, anything like that. So it'll be advertised as being in Cleveland, but it's not downtown Cleveland.
Yeah, Neo said it's like Rosemont is not actually Chicago. There you go.
Yeah.
That's where the Chicago Nationals at, and also the shows that go on there. But they always call it the Chicago Show Spectacular or whatever they call it.
Yeah. See, Neo it's the IX Center. It's a huge thing. It's close to the Cleveland airport outside the city.
Okay. All right, let's take a look at some other comments here. Oh, it's Shine150. Hello, can anyone in the comments give me your top 10 grifters in the hobby?
Is this an actual account?
No, it is. It's a fake.
Oh, okay.
It's like that Jeff Wilson and Ken Golden account. All right. Let's.
You know what? I actually have a grifter in mind, but I'm not going to say his name.
You're not going to say it.
I'm going to say it. I'm not trying to.
You're not going to start something.
I honestly, Neo brought it up, not to just ride on him right now, but he brought up because he sent me some information about. I don't know if you saw his video today, Raul. He did a good video where it was he was talking about this eBay rule. Well, if you're a seller on eBay in Ohio, you now have to get an auctioneer license.
Yeah, this was the same comment from earlier.
Bullshit.
Yeah,
that's some bullshit, bro. I think he told me, or I read, he sent me two things. I think it was if you're at 10,000 or above, in sales, you have to get an auctioneer license.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. Actually, Low Roller Scratcher told me in my comment section earlier this morning too. So he said anyone lives in Ohio, if you need auction license, sell on eBay, whatnot, on other platforms. So I was thinking about this. I was going to maybe do a video on this tomorrow morning.
That's some bullshit.
So the thing is, would the state actually be crazy enough to enact this law? Because if they do,
it's on the books.
That's insane.
It's on the books, but would they enforce it? Right? There's a lot of laws.
I see what
right. How would you locate them? Would you go and get the FBI to find people's electronic
Joe Biden's going to hire all them IRS agents, baby. Don't you know?
But that's what I'm saying is, though, how would you do that? How would
if you donate to a candidate, if you donate to a particular candidate that the establishment doesn't like, so then they're going to come after you. Is that how it's going to work?
Neil says it's already a law.
Yeah, it's already a law, but I don't know if they'd be crazy enough to enforce it. I mean, they did it on a different auction, but that's not an eBay affiliated auction. That's is it the high bid or something like that? I forget what the auction was.
I see. And the thing is, it might not affect. I don't sell on eBay. Full disclosure, I buy. You know what I mean? I'm way more PC driven than flipping. I was into the flipping a little, setting up at shows, and I'll dabble in that here just to help friends I know around the area that have some shows. Like I'll set up and buy a table. But like I don't think it would affect like Neo, but like there's a bunch of people who sell like the hobby is strong in Ohio. So I bet you it does affect quite a bit of people. And I talked with him earlier, like if it's happening here and it's on the books, get ready. Other states are gonna do it.
Yeah. So C&T Collectibles, what's going on, man? So he says it's a bunch of baloney. The argument will be sellers aren't auctioning, eBay is. That's why you pay them. Maybe, maybe not. Because like if you're running an auction on one of those sites, like I bought from auctions on an auction site, like they have all the items and they, have to abide by the hosting service rules and all that. It's just a different format than eBay, but I could be wrong on that.
I'm telling you this, that I know the process of getting an auctioneer license in Ohio is a bitch. It's tough.
It's tough. It's tough in general.
I don't know all that. I just had a buddy before he was talking about it. Something with car auctions or something where he would buy and flip cars, but he was talking about it and like, dude, it's a bitch. I just can't imagine you need to do all that to sell cars on eBay. That's bullshit.
Do you think that Fanatics would do something like this?
Probably.
Could be.
I have no receipts to back that up. I'm just talking shit. I said probably just to say.
I mean, I think it would come down to, okay, where would you now you'd have to basically consign your cards if you lived in a state that would be insane to do this. Would you just go consign with CompC or Probstein, who's in New Jersey, or Four Sharp Corners that's in Massachusetts? That's what I would do.
I would avoid it. I would agree. I would reach out. I would go to something like, okay, for instance, I live in Ohio, right on the border of West Virginia and Pennsylvania. I'd go right to my buddies out of state and be like, just sell this shit for me.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
That's what I would do. I mean, what?
And they'd take a cut or whatever.
Yeah. Well, you can still use other platforms. Like I don't use Facebook or IG, but I use OfferUp. OfferUp is great because OfferUp is free, and I've met people. I got one of my Brady rookies through there, and I pay cash in person because I don't want it to be tracked.
That's
what I do.
Now, you could snitch to the IRS. Someone could snitch on you to the IRS. So all these people flexing all their sales on IG, if someone's really tracking them,
yep,
you could, if you have a vendetta against someone, you could like go to the IRS saying, "Hey, I've got receipts on these guys."
I see.
Oh yeah.
Neo commented. He said the law specifically calls out that eBay is a middleman. You are the seller, aka auctioneer. And to be honest with you, I understand. I'm not saying he said that's what the law, how it's written up. I don't agree with that. eBay's not a middleman. They're an auction platform. Like they're not a middleman. I don't think it's a platform. Like you use eBay for the audience and all that. Like they're more than a middleman.
Just imagine if the state of Ohio goes after a person that sells $15,000 worth of items. How would the publicity be? There would be a lot of blowback.
Oh yeah, dude.
That's why I don't think they're gonna enforce it. They're gonna enforce it on like other sites, not eBay, because eBay is just too big, in my opinion. But I could be wrong.
Well, eBay takes on average 20% out of your sales, right there.
Is it 20 or is it like 13?
Oh, I would say it's about 20% if you really break it down, because you got to think about if you're selling the card and then they take their cut right there, and then it comes out of the also the shipping too, because remember you used to
buyer
pay
pays shipping.
Yeah, the shipping comes right in there.
But buyer pays shipping though.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the seller that pays for the shipping, unless they provide free shipping. Then yes, you're right.
You may be correct on there. I have to look on there.
If you're offering free shipping, then yeah, it's closer to 20%.
That's what it is.
Yeah, but I think most people, they don't offer free shipping.
Oh no, that's how people get their additional money off the eBay for the shipping.
Yeah, that's actually illegal if they overcharge for shipping.
Yeah.
C&T Collectibles saying, if this goes to court, that's the basic argument. So his argument is like what he said earlier.
Let's go. My package is going to be early, hopefully tomorrow. Sorry, didn't mean to cut it off.
Yeah, you're good. I wanted to bring up the because since we have people on the eBay topic, I like the plain white envelope system. I haven't personally used it because I'm very weary about it. I haven't
Yeah.
had the worst luck with it in terms of purchases,
What
but I
is
have lost some cards.
what is the plain white?
So the plain white envelope is basically they use the acronym PWE, and basically it's cards that are $20 and under. You can put into an envelope, and the shipping is like 30 to 50 cents, right? Just about average. And what you do is you can't. There's a weight distribution. You cannot go past a certain weight. So a lot of people do is they take a piece of paper, and they'll because you can't even put a top loader, right? Because of the weight. So people will use like a heavy piece of paper, use painter's tape, and they put the card, and it's shipped like that, plain white envelope. And there is a shipping tracking number to it, but because it's $20 and under, it can still get lost because it's
Gotcha.
literally just an envelope, right? And the
Yeah.
card can get damaged and whatnot. And I'm just weary as a seller. First off, I don't make a lot of profit unless I'm really, really selling tons of those plain white envelopes, right? But then what if onesie twosies gets lost, or let's say someone gets it and then like, hey, I never got the card, I want a refund, and then they can leave me a bad review immediately, you know? And so I'm very wary with that standard envelope. I'm not
But
sure if
there's
you guys have ordered
tracking
there.
though. There's tracking,
Right.
right?
But sometimes it's not always accurate with the
Yeah,
tracking.
that's true. I mean, there was one time where I got a card, it was late last year, where they said that they delivered it, but they were never in my suburb. They were in a suburb that was about 45 minutes away. And then I contacted eBay. I'm like, and USPS, where's my card? I'm just wondering, even though it isn't that much.
Yeah.
And it took a week for them to give me my card. They eventually came back to me, but
CNT brought up a great topic is I cannot stand people who put scotch tape when I'm buying
yeah,
cards.
like,
Like
why do they
painter's
do that?
tape, dude. Painter's tape.
Painter's tape is not that expensive. If you're
No, it's
selling a
not.
bunch of cards, which we
Or,
do,
I don't even use tape at
Oh, you
all.
can reuse it. Look.
yeah, you can reuse
I
it. I
got
mean,
some.
like, I don't understand why people are cheap. Like,
I
and
use
also,
bubble wrap cardboard, and believe it or not, my trick is rubber bands.
Ooh, yeah, that's true.
I do bubble wrap, and then I put the cardboards like a sandwich, top and bottom, and then I use rubber bands around everything, so somebody can just open it and cut those rubber bands, and it opens up real easy, but it keeps it, contained and
Oh,
together.
here's
Rubber
Steve.
bands, guys. Rubber bands.
Here's
Rubber
Steve.
band man.
Here's an example of a plain white envelope right here that has been used. So it's like this.
right.
So like your address, put that up there again. I'm just
It's okay. It's my PO box. Send some fan mail.
I'm gonna send you a shirtless autographed picture.
So the thing is, what's up with people when they're sending cards in a top loader? Why aren't they putting it in a sleeve? That never
God.
makes sense to
Oh
me.
my god, that annoys
That's
the
a
hell
pet
out of me.
peeve of mine.
That's beta.
It's literally called a penny sleeve.
It's not that much.
Sleeve.
It's what, $4, $5 for a pack of 100?
Yeah, I don't even know. Who knows? The rates of everything is probably $10 a package now, but still, principle being is you send cards a certain way. You
Absolutely.
It's like a courtesy. It's like, how would you want your card shipped to you? Return that favor when you're sending something out. Like, yeah, be cool about it. Don't make it a hassle for somebody. If you use Scotch tape, like, you should repent for your sins.
I got another question. This is from the eBay topic. Have you guys personally bought anything on eBay over I think it's the $200 to $250 mark, where it's eBay?
I recently did.
Authentic. How did that work for you? I haven't done it. I'm curious.
First off, I'll tell you what happened. I won an auction, and I saw what was going down, where it was like, it's got to be sent to this authentic. And I messaged Raul. I messaged Neo, and I said, all right, I'm dumb as shit. What's happening right now? And they both were like, well, this has been this way. But for some reason, I guess I just haven't bought something off eBay that was over $200 in a while, because I didn't realize it got sent to that authenticator or whatever it was. But to be honest, as far as the process went, I don't have any bitch, because nothing bad happened. It got shipped there. And then once that happened, it immediately notified me, gave me my tracking, and then sent it right to me ahead of schedule even. So I didn't have a bad, I didn't have a bad experience, but yeah, when it first happened and I saw like what they were like shipping it to Auth, I text him, Raul, and I text Neo, and I was like, "Yo, I'm dumb. What the hell is going on? What's this mean?" And they were both like, "Yeah, idiot. This has been this way." So
Yeah, I
well,
mean,
I see Steve out here in these streets. Sometimes, I need spoon fed the information.
in June of last year, I bought a Michael Jordan Gatorade card, and the seller, he sent it out to the authenticator. Authenticator said it was legit, and then it took 4 or 5 days after for me to get it. So it was a smooth process.
Yeah.
I mean,
pretty
there
good.
are hiccups. I've covered the hiccups, no doubt about it.
This is what I bought and went to authentication.
Yeah.
It's a second year Topps Chrome. It's from the 0809 set, the LeBron Choctaw set, but it's
Okay.
it's a
Ooh, that's
KD
nice.
Topps Chrome X Fractor. I won it off that eBay auction, and it was over 200.
The thing is that
No one look here. I'm not pumping Kevin Durant cards. Not at all. Just show
that's a
it.
conflict of interest, man.
Yeah,
Hey,
man.
I'm
You're
calling
making me
everyone
wanna go
out. I
on
have to
eBay
call
and
you
buy
out
some.
right now.
Take that blasphemy back. Just look at the card. Let's gatekeep. Just remember.
Keep. Oh yeah, I hope Curator's watching. I'm sure he is. That's for you, Curator.
Now, what is that?
What is
That's
that?
Mando. So
Oh, okay. That's Mandalorian, right?
I love Mando. That's my guy. And this is a blue refractor serial numbered. And I got a really good deal for him from my LCS.
I feel like it would be badass if we could all wear like cool armor like that. Like
Yeah, it's called
Stormtrooper
cosplay.
armor.
Let's just do it. We'll show up to the
We should
card
show
show.
up to Nationals in like full Star Wars attire.
Yeah.
Treat it like Comic-Con or something.
You should go to DAP Sports. Speaking of, we should get into that topic.
Oh.
So
I'm short, so I guess I'd have to dress up like Yoda or some shit.
I find it quite interesting. I see every day DAP Sports gets like 1,000 new subscribers, and I don't see any videos. And then I see Fanatics promoting this guy. I see Curator is gonna probably do some collabs with him again. Jeff Wilson. I think you guys sent me one of you. I think it's LT.
Probably
He's
me.
hanging out with DAPS. Like everyone's hanging out with DAPS.
He's cool, bro.
Yeah, he's cool. He sleeps with robots. Why not?
Dude, it's hobby
He sleeps with who?
positivity, bro.
He probably is going around Burbank asking if people would sleep with him.
Oh
Dude,
yeah, that's right.
That's
right.
his thing.
So I guess that's the requirement for an influencer today, right?
Dude, isn't it cringe? Like you can just that's what bothers me is like you can just be a douchebag and like you're gonna get like all this fake love. Like there's no way he's getting that type of following. I mean, there's just no way.
Yeah.
You showed that one graph where it was like, here's his subscription, and it was just like straight up. It was like, what the?
I got a message from a dude, and he said like, "Oh yeah, that looks like November 2020 graphs, late at night."
I'm just glad I have the network of friends and people that I associate with in this hobby. That it's like, all right, like, it's not about this cringe, corny, clicky shit. It's hobby dedicated, collectors dedicated. The content I listen to is like that. It's just I don't follow any of these guys. Splenda, Daps, Santiago. Like I really don't follow any of them. But it's just like, dude, that everything gets surfaced by a handful of like influencer guys. Like it's just like, how does this keep happening? Like, how are they on the algorithm? Like, how does this keep coming up on my feed?
So I posted this thing on my what is it called? My story, and people, push back on it. But so Mark Dice was talking about, I don't know if you've heard of him, but he was talking about how TikTok and social media, they promote certain type of videos.
You mean China? Sorry. Go ahead.
Yes. But there's some sort of algorithm which just pushes videos forward. And it's the same thing with US social media as well. So I'm just wondering, like, is there a way, or are these guys promoting certain influencers like that, or is that
it definitely raises questions where it's like, how do I get into that algorithm like groupie fest where it's like my stuff's going to be promoted, so on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have any receipts or anything like that. So sorry, certain people who love receipts. They're addicted to receipts, but won't ask a single hard question to anybody in the hobby. But like, it definitely raises some eyebrows and some questions and concerns. But it's like, what are you gonna do? What are we gonna do about it? I mean, I think it's good that people like you, like, you'll cover certain stuff, and I think it offers a balance where it's like, yeah, like maybe the people in the hobby just don't follow these huge accounts and platforms blindly.
It's true. Oh, we got Jason Kuntz in the house. Parody account. Hello, boys.
Is that Jeff Wilson's buddy with the grading company?
Yes.
I
ISI or whatever it's called.
Listen, I just sent a whole bunch of cards down there for grading.
Did you?
No.
Are you being serious? Are you being funny?
I would never do that. That's stupid.
So, what's his name? Jack Harlow likes that grading company. Our boy.
Oh, dude.
You know, the dude, I remember, what is it called? Allegedly, Jason Kuntz is a card trimmer. So
I heard that. Now, I don't know the details, but I heard that.
Yeah, I think Sports Card Radio keeps on talking about that. I think there was someone may need to correct me, but I think there's some sort of internal list PSA had, and I think they labeled him, if I remember correctly. So they had a suspicion that he was a trimmer.
He's a documented trimmer.
Allegedly.
Okay, I was gonna say, because like if it's stuff, and he's gonna be grading cards,
or owns a grading company, or some business venture, or whatever it is. Yeah.
No questions.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm the bad guy for exposing stuff, but you know, Jason Kuntz, you can't touch that subject. You can't touch all the other hanky panky. I find it interesting.
Stay positive, Raul. Just stay positive.
Yeah, I'm bad for the hobby. I should be kicked out, as people say.
Send your cards down there and shut up. Just be positive.
Flipping Steve's here.
Oh, Steve's in the house. He says, Splenda, what do you think about the KD trade?
I'm pumped. I'm ready for Slim to hit up the desert, baby. I'm ready. I'm like, as a fan and a collector, I'm super excited that he's out of Brooklyn, out of a toxic piece of shit relationship with a franchise where they just don't give a shit and they don't support their players. I think, however you may or may not look at the Kyrie situation, Brooklyn definitely overstepped on multiple instances with Kyrie. I would have a sour taste in my mouth, and I would have gotten the hell out of there as soon as possible as well. And I think he's in a place where he has a legit chance. Again, I'm biased. I have my collection. Whether he wins or doesn't win or whatever, that's my collection. But, like, I'm not saying people go rush out and buy him. But, like, I definitely think he has a chance to potentially change his narrative. You can say this is another super team, but I think we've seen enough Phoenix where it's like they're not going to win a title. They're a good team, but they're not going to win a title. They're not an actual threat. With Kevin Durant, if they were to win a title, it would 100% be because KD went there. So I think he has a chance to help his legacy, help his narrative. Sure, if that comes with his card prices, I really don't care about the card prices. I'm going to collect them either way. But I'm stoked. I'm pumped. This is something that he needed for his – because Brooklyn was just toxic, dude. And I'm not saying that, he willingly signed that extension and he was stupid for that. But I'm glad he's out. So I'm ecstatic. Shout out Flippin' Steve. Thank you for the question.
Do you think that Joe Tsai, the owner of the Nets, why did he trade Durant to Phoenix and he traded then Kyrie to the Mavs rather than the Lakers? Yeah. I think was that trying to retaliate against Kyrie, or is it just a better player package
I know the Kyrie deal, they specifically did not move him to LA because the Lakers wanted Kyrie and they specifically avoided that. So that's why Kyrie went to Dallas. Now, I don't know what happened after that. mean, we can only speculate. I can imagine Kevin Durant was probably like, I'm not sticking around if this is what's going on.
Oh, okay, so that's what it was. And
That's,
then
I mean, again, I'm speculating. I don't think
Yeah.
anything's
Well,
officially been reported, but
And
like,
you wouldn't trade him to the East either, to
no.
your same conference.
Good
That's
yeah,
how it
point.
works.
that makes
You're
sense.
not going to just unload KD to a competitor in your
Yeah.
same. Like, it makes sense that he went out west, and to be honest, they got a couple pieces for the now, but Brooklyn's not looking to win right now. They got 4 first-round picks, so I don't
got
know what they could
buttload
have
of
leveraged
picks.
from other teams with the Kevin Durant situation. But man, if 4 first-round picks is valuable.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Who do you think is the biggest winner from the trade deadline?
Phoenix,
Phoenix.
easily.
That's what. Yeah.
Easily. Listen, I mean, I get it. I'm biased.
Yeah.
just
I mean,
had
like, it doesn't
Devin
matter,
Booker
like,
win.
biased or unbiased.
You didn't have to give up Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton, or Devin Booker, and you got Kevin Durant. Like, I know people sleep on it, but like, guess what? Guess what? All the Steph Curry Warriors. Guess what? You'd have never beat Cleveland again if y'all didn't go handpick Kevin Durant and recruit him. Everybody shits on KD, but like, that team flew out and hand recruited Kevin Durant. And they were not going to beat that Cleveland team with LeBron and Kyrie again if they did not go get Kevin Durant. So everybody tells me how great Steph Curry is, and he had to ride Curry's coattails. Who won them finals MVPs? And the minute KD got hurt against Toronto, why didn't the almighty Steph Curry finish it off? I mean, he's a top 10 player, right?
He got
Kawhi
cocky
said-
during the
Kawhi
series.
said, you're not on my level, and Kawhi finished it off. If Curry's this he rode Steph Curry's coattails, which I think is bullshit because they were never going to win another title, at least in that time frame, against that Cleveland Cavs team with LeBron and Kyrie. It wasn't going to happen unless they brought KD in. Man, I'm like fired up with all this KD talk. This is fun.
That's what happens when you're pumping him, man.
Who are you talking to?
Yeah, stop pumping, man.
Who?
Yeah. Let's look at this. Go back. So Brendan asked me, and maybe you should chime in on this.
Hey, what's up, Brendan?
Would you submit a BGS 8.5 to get a PSA 9?
I guess it depends on the card. If it's something serial numbered where you can have I would just look up comps of PSA 8s and PSA 9s and see if like where your value is on your BGS 8.5 is worth that gamble of a $15 grade, and is the market worth trying in the attempt in it? Like, will you get enough of a monetary boost to get a 9? So I always look at it as percentage. So like, if you have a chance for a 25%, gain, possibly.
Well, and just what you're saying on the scale, right? A PSA 8 is considered equivalent to a raw card, right? So where does a BGS fall in line? What is even 8.5?
I don't think that's where I mean. An 8.5 doesn't give you much value. A BGS,
Right.
believe it or not, LT, I've noticed BGS 9's getting no love.
Yeah.
I get it, but so it's like you're not getting much more value over raw with a BGS 9 even at this
Agreed.
point. So honestly, like I said, depending on the card, it would probably be. I don't think PSA 9s are getting that much more than raw at this point. Again, it depends on the card. I got to premise that. Like, if we're talking something super low serial numbered and scarce, yeah, it'll make a difference. But I would say, depending on the card, check the comps at a PSA 9 and what you're looking at with your 8.5 and say, is this worth putting $15 to $20 into grading for that whatever percentage jump up?
Yeah, the hobby positivity people would be like, "Oh, what is that?"
That's a 9.
Oh, it's
I
a
just
9.
happen to have a 9.
Peyton.
Yeah, that's
a
what
Peyton
Manning
Manning
is.
thing?
Peyton Manning.
I'm a Peyton Manning thing.
I am a Manning fan.
My brother's a big Manning fan, so respect to you guys, the sheriffs in town.
Thank you, sir.
So the thing is that you could, I guess, the hobby positivity people would be like, you could turn that 8.5 to a 10 if you use card care.
Well, I was just going to say there are certain segments that would advise you that way. It's like, buy some cleaner, do what you can, buff it up. I mean, you have every right to do what you want. I wouldn't recommend doing that. That's just my personal perspective. But yeah, you guys technically could.
people thought I was like acting or joking around, not joking around, that I was just making stuff up just to get clicks.
Well, I understand because you premised it because you come from a coin background too.
Yeah.
So like understanding the idea of coin because you do ruin your grade. Like I don't know how they grade the
You
coin 'cause
can't
it's
get it
altered or
graded.
whatever.
Yeah, it's like altered or it's designated as
Given your
clean or whatever.
background and maybe some other people that come from different collectible backgrounds where it's more accepted that you do certain things. This is the beauty of the free marketplace of ideas.
Unregulated market too.
That's
Yep.
true. But like you can have different perspectives and it's kind of neat because we have multiple collectibles that have different angles at this. And,
Yeah.
we're like right in the middle with our cardboard cards, like, well, which side, I would personally, I don't want my cards. I wouldn't, if I knew a card was cleaned or something where chemicals were applied, I would knowingly stay away. Just full disclosure. I don't practice that. The guy I deal with who does my grading doesn't practice that. That's just my preference. So I wouldn't, if somebody sold me a card and said, hey, I broke it out, scrubbed it down and resubbed it, I would probably back off because I'm afraid like we're seeing the 90s chrome cards fade in green. You know what I mean? Just on its own natural. So like, I would be afraid like if chemicals maybe were applied, maybe long term it were some side effect. I don't know. Like again, it's speculative. It's just I would prefer to not. I would not want my stuff. But then again, I'm somebody who's okay with having a 9. I don't need that 10. If it's the card I want to collect, I'm okay with a 9. Like I don't need that max value. I think guys are doing this to get that max profit. So again, I'm coming from more of a collector's mindset.
Right. And so that's the difference between a collector or an investor, right? The grade should not even matter if you're collecting it. But if you're so worried about getting your profit in the then and the now, that's when the grade all matters. I wanted to bring something up. I just thought about it. It just clicked to me because I don't know. I know Raul watches it. I know, Steve, you don't watch a lot of the influencers, but I'm sure Raul does his own on there. And have you noticed that when these guys go to big shows, for example, Burbank, obviously PSA, BGS, SGC, all the big grading companies are there. And it just so happens every influencer, I mean, you probably have like a top 10 of the influencers that you just see that when we talked about earlier, these influencers are essentially the voices of the big dogs up there, right? That are spreading that word around, right? Because that's what people are feeding into, especially if they're not educated enough in the hobby or just new into it, right? Hey, I can make money and whatnot. But have you ever noticed that when the influencers go and they're like, oh, I just got this raw card or whatever, and let me go send this off to the grading company right there on site, and let's see what grade I get. I hope I get a 10 or whatever, right? And I'm just always sitting there thinking in my head, I'm just like, and then they'll do their review the next day, right? And how much do you think hanky panky goes in there, or using your term, when you can grade their on-site and knowing that you're a big influencer or a big dog on there? What do you guys think of that?
I'll take this one, brother.
I'm always suspicious when I see these influencers doing that. And I'm also thinking, was it just staged to begin with? Like, are they just getting these cards that aren't theirs and be like, oh, okay, I'm just going to do a reveal.
Yep.
And, I got it graded, but they have to give it back or something like that. I'm just thinking like, and they have non-disclosures and they get paid on the side. I mean, nothing goes past me these days.
You're right.
Bro, if this wasn't so much about marketing, I wouldn't be so tinfoil hat. But dude, there's so much marketing that goes into this with this influencer and this, all these different platforms, whether it's an auction house, whether it's a grading, whatnot. Like there's bread breaking behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. Like it's happening. And it's just like the fact, if you start sniffing around and talking about it, you get,
I mean, the thing is that a lot of people, they message me or in the comment section, even like P. Ryan, who I like, and he likes me. He says like, hey, sometimes he gets a bit too much into conspiracy theories, but, we come from not a background, but we know that there's crazy stuff going on in our society, right? We don't need to get into specifics of politics, But anytime the media says something, then you have. I don't trust it, right? I usually take the other side of what they're saying if they're going, on a tangent. Let me mute LT for a second. I think it's his mic. Yeah. So yeah, we've just seen so many things. The last few years, conspiracy theorists have been banning 1,000,
Bro.
Yeah.
1,000.
1,000,
We're
right?
like Barry Bonds in 2002 at the plate right now.
Without the steroids.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I agree. Like when a mainstream narrative or media or whatever coverage or marketing is saying one thing, I immediately backstep and think, well, let me look more into this because I already know. At least with me, in my outlook on things, like usually the narrative doesn't make sense, but they're gonna fund it and try to get you to believe it.
Oh yeah,
that's what strikes me. It's like if it was the truth, why would you have to put this kind of money and marketing into it? If it's the truth, people would accept it and they would use their reasonable minds, their common sense. Because I have faith in people. I have faith in free will. That's a little bit of my belief and background. So it's like I don't trust when everybody's telling me one thing. That tells me it's just like when let's take this to like investing and like if everybody's doing the same thing with money, wouldn't you take a step back and say, wait a minute, let me look outside the box here. Maybe when everybody's going left, maybe I should go right. But
if it's like
media coverage, it doesn't work that way. If you go left when everybody's going right, you're a bad.
You're the nut job, right?
Yeah, you're
the conspiracy theorist.
You hate everybody.
It's like, nah.
Bro, speaking of that, I was watching earlier today because I was interested. I finally watched that. I don't know what you got, that Congress with the Twitter execs or the ex-Twitter execs.
Yeah.
Sit in with Congress where everybody was questioning them. And it's like, bro, if you can't watch that and really see what the hell is going on, you're a bitch. Like, I'm sorry, at this point, you're a bitch. Like, they're 100% censoring shit, one side of the aisle, one set of ideas. And if you can't see that now, you're a bitch. I ain't got time for you. Like, I'm not going to argue it with you. It's like, if you can't, Elon Musk is bad. And I don't even like Elon Musk. I think he's a nerd. But I don't want him controlling anything. I don't think there should be one owner of Twitter. That's just my belief. But like, what's been going on since 2016, if you can't see it now, you a bitch. That's just, you're a bitch. They're on Congress arguing this shit out, but still you have people be like, oh, well, January 6th. And you're like, Jesus Christ. Like, can y'all have any depth and nuance to your thought process? Like, why do you think that buildup happened? Because of censorship and shit. Like, I'm not condoning it, but it's like, if you're taking people's voices and you're only siding on one narrative and you're taking away an entire voice of people, which is not this idea where it's just a fringe group of people. It's like, no, it's a shitload of people who didn't take the jab, who thought the Hunter Biden laptop was real. Like, there's a lot of people who thought that. And you don't think for a second censoring the Hunter Biden laptop story before the election was an issue. If you don't think that, you bitch. Sorry, you bitch, mate. If you don't want to know all the information, you're a bitch. Get out of your echo chamber.
Good job, Ro. You got Steve off, man.
I could get him up. I could make him pissed off.
Oh, that was one of them pause moments. We almost did it.
So I got something to say. What happened with the lawsuit from Jeff Wilson to SCR and who's the other guy? Iron Lion. I haven't heard much on that anymore. What happened with that?
MTG line. Yeah. So I knew from the beginning if Jeff Wilson actually started some sort of lawsuit, it would be a disaster for him, because then what they would have done is they would have probably been like, hey, we got to open up his books.
Yeah.
We got to open Jeff Wilson's books. And then
it's public knowledge.
Yeah, it's public knowledge. And then you know what? Then you could audit their books and you could see, is anyone paying market movers? Is anyone paying Jeff Wilson's companies? Like, it would have been an accounting disaster. And I think that's why he backed down and they put up a fight. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
those are the last people you want a lawsuit with.
SCR.
Star Radio. That you have to be insane to do that.
No, they've been in the game for what, over a decade, right?
15 years or whatever. They know their stuff in and out. They've been threatened with litigation, and people back down because they have dirt on everyone.
Yeah. And I guess you said it's right is because obviously you get promoted pretty regularly, and I've got a couple. I had 2 little shouts on my IG, and you told me like that's a compliment on there, right? But like I told you many times, Rule is when you're not an influencer in this hobby, you're not tied to being a puppet, as I use that term, right? So when people have to doesn't it annoy you when you have to watch, you don't have to watch it, but when you're watching an influencer video, right, they have to stop midway or prior to, and hey, this is sponsored by so-and-so or whatever, right? And it's like, I just couldn't, that's what I love about this, it's just raw and authentic, but we still love our card stuff and we're going against the grain, right? But you're not sitting there and, okay, well, I'm worried about what my sponsorship's going to say, right? And I don't want to lose that type of thing. And, it's like, hey, Steve, we're talking about influencers and sponsorships. My term I like to call.
To stay awake because you assholes have me up so.
Yeah.
I'll be back in a minute. You keep on talking.
I was telling Raul earlier about the
you were talking
sponsorship.
about LT. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut
You're good, bro. I was talking about the influencers and their sponsorships, right? They're tied to being puppeteers, right? It's like us, we have no skin in the game, right? So we love cards. We're just a bunch of guys that talk. We're the misfits, right? But all the other guys that are the voices of the hobby and whatnot I was telling Raul is the sponsorship aspect is they're tied to being puppets, right? Because they have to sit there and they got to stop midway into their video, say this is sponsored by so and so or whatever, but then they can't say certain things or affiliate with people, right? And it's kind of like, who wants to live that kind of life? Like I don't know, like. That would just be so stressful.
I got friends who do content that have sponsorships. I just want to say that, and like,
yeah. I'm not saying all are bad,
right? And this is what I do. Like, if you're doing that, and like, I appreciate that you're transparent with it, and it's you at least disclose, and like that way, at least your audience is going to be like, okay, if you're got a partnership with, let's say, Beckett, like I can understand why you're not going to shit on Beckett or like.
Right.
But this is what the thing is. It's like, you shouldn't go talk about other grading companies like shittily. I think that's what that didn't like. She collects with PSA, like
Hannah. She collects
talking on SGC. Like that's where I can understand where people be like, "Yo, you're kind of engaging in a conflict of interest." But
no, it is.
I'm not against sponsorship. I'm pro capitalism. I want people to make money and build their brands and do stuff. But I think there's a nefariousness to it, and where it's like, I think people may or may not get signed. And it's like, it's pretty much to this thing where it's like, okay, we're paying you to create or to like coincide with the narrative.
Right.
I think that happens with, I think that's why I brought up at one point, like I think we need to pay attention to like some of these subscriptions and some of these platforms where the subscriptions, like the evidence looks like they're getting bought. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And see, that's when I have an issue. It's like, if those guys are sponsored, their subscription count goes through the roof. That to me is more of a red flag. But like, there's guys who have grassroots channels and like they happen to get sponsored. Mm-hmm. I'm not against that. Like, and I'm not saying like, oh, everybody who takes a sponsorship's a sellout. You're a shill. It's not my message. I just appreciate the disclosure. Like, if you are doing something, like, disclose it. That way, it's like when you don't cover maybe something, it makes a little bit more sense. It's like, okay, I understand why Joe Schmo's not covering PWCC, or I can understand why So-So's not covering whatnot because they just gave him $50,000 at a card show. Like, at least it makes sense. But I do agree. Like, I do think money's being put out to certain content influencers platforms where it's like, yeah, we want you to either sing a dance or, like you said, puppet to a narrative. I think that does happen.
Yeah. The thing is that I don't like when people control what I say and what I do. So, I mean, I understand I make less money doing that. I don't even make that much money through monetization, but if I got sponsorships, hey, I could get extra $5,000 to $10,000. But I don't feel that I'm doing a service for the hobby if I'm not allowed to speak my mind. And I think that's why I have you two on, is because
Well, yeah.
you say whatever you want, I say whatever I want, and no one's gonna, hold us. No one in the hobby can intimidate me. I could get a message saying, "Why aren't you being positive?" They're not my boss, right?
Because you have the other group, because I don't know how many people you have watching you right now. You have a other group of people that before you and me met, and I met Steve and Hobby Shark, and prior to Raul, before we started talking, is they didn't know that there's this other side. I always like to compare the yin yang. They didn't know that, oh shoot, there's actually people who enjoy cards, but they're against all this positivity, fakes, and bullshit, right? And that's the beautiful thing about it. How many people you have watching, by the way?
Right now it's 25, or before it was like, it's varied.
Okay.
Sometimes 20, sometimes 30.
Hey, sometimes quality is better than quantity, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's how I view it. I mean, I'd rather, to be honest, I could grow my channel like crazy if I wanted to. If I get all the other influencers to come on, my channel would have exploded. But the way that I grew it is, hey, I'm going to grow it slowly over time.
Yeah.
And I don't want to deal with nonsense. Like, I'm not crapping on Jeff Wilson here, but look at how much crap he gets now, right? People are going to scrutinize everything that he says, and he does. For me, if I make a mistake, I make a mistake. I'm still doing it for fun. That's how I view it.
I agree with your point when you were asking me earlier, LT. Like, I wouldn't want to live or do content like that with restrictions.
Yeah.
If some people are comfortable, man, I mean, God bless them, do your thing. But like, I agree with you. In my worldview, in my mind, I'm like, I don't want to bell cow to anything. I'm not gonna fold for somebody or somebody else's ideas, or especially if I don't believe in it, or if I'm not, So I just, teach their own.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, even if I'm friendly with someone, I lose some friends because I speak my mind. I mean, then are they your friend?
No,
they're not.
Exactly.
A friend would respect you and your opinion, right? But I don't know.
Well, I think with this whole click market with the influencers, it's all business relationships. I don't think there's much authenticity with a lot of these guys. There may be, and don't quote me, I'm not trying to knock these guys, but of course, if you're affiliated with a certain party or whoever, right, it's going to help your clout, right? It's going to help your brand. But at the end of the day, it's just like we talked about with cards, we're in a recession, right? And depending on where this goes, we've discussed this many times. How long will these influencers be around, right? We've had this discussion. I don't know if they're going to sustain this for 10 years. What do you guys think?
I'll tell you this, it's not going to last 10 years because some of the stuff that's going to happen in the market that I'm expecting, and I'm not talking about the hobby market, I mean the macro economy.
Right.
If shit hits the fan, you're not going to see people, oh my gosh, I'm sending all these cards to PSA to show. Oh my gosh, like, oh, the hobby's this. Oh my gosh, like, you're not going to see that shit. It's like, all marketing, and these guys don't. And believe it or not, when these guys turn the cameras off, I guarantee you they don't act like this.
No, I mean, how is it sustainable for some influencer to spend $20,000? If they're rich, they come from a trust fund family, fine. Yeah. How can you spend $20,000 at a show like month after month or every 2 weeks after 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Go cross country. I'm like, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I didn't mean to cut you off right there. It's just like we had this discussion prior to, is there has to be some kind of sponsorship or big dogs paying for these influencers to get these hotel stays or whatever. Now, granted, if there's an LLC, that's a whole different story, right? But it's like we talked about. We all pay our rent. We all pay our mortgage. We got to put food on the table. We got to pay our bills. We got wear and tear in our vehicles. We got to pay for fuel. I don't understand how these guys can sustain this card business completely right there. Just like we'd have a discussion with all the other shit that you have to pay for, right? Could you imagine doing what we do with our regular jobs and sitting there going to shows and worry about all our everyday stuff? How do you just sit there and not, you know what I mean? You guys with me on that?
I agree. I'm not confident that I could just do cards full time and pay my mortgage.
Yeah.
I'll be totally honest. There's no way traveling across the world to do it, to make my mortgage. Like,
and you have to have a content creator.
My ass off, maybe, but like to do it every month, like I don't know, dude.
These guys pay for a video person too. You know, like Raul and I were talking about.
cameramen and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
like to do a video, dude, I could do
You
it
live
in
in Mama's basement, though.
but
That's
to do a
probably a
video,
big advantage.
it's time consuming, you know. And these guys go out of their way to hire content, you know, or I mean, video recorders, you know.
I mean, like maybe like a CC2. I get it. He's rich. Okay, maybe he could go to shows and spend an arm and a leg, but a lot of people, I don't think they have the money that CC2 has.
No.
So, you know, when the economy does blow up, like Steve says, you know, I think it's going to be a year and a half from now. We're going to probably see major problems. If I'm right, how many of these influencers are going to be able to do this? I don't see that many coming out of it. They'll still be in the hobby, but they're not going to be, you know, I think they're going to be more like Sasha T. Sasha T is still in the hobby, but he's just a little more, you know, quiet, you know. He's just an IG posting his pickups. It's not like content here and there.
And here's something I just thought of. If you look at 2008, right, the last recession, one of the worst, right, in U.S. economy, and you think about when YouTube, because I remember I was in college when YouTube was bought from Google for like, what was it, $2 billion or something crazy like that. And look how much money they made profit off that. YouTube was just coming out, and content creators, if you were a content creator back in like the mid 2000s, you were balling, right? It was really hard work to get up there. And I'm actually curious if I go back to see if there's any card influencers back then, because you look at the card stuff since the pandemic, right? Were there card influencers that were on YouTube back in 2008? Because that ties a lot into it, you know, not just the social media aspect, right? But social media presence was not as strong during that recession as to it's now, right? So what do you guys think with social media? You think that still keeps a healthy growth for these guys?
I mean, for some of them, sure. But I was looking at one of this influencer, and I'm not going to mention him by name, but one of his videos, he first started out doing like water gun fights or something like that. And then, I think I may have sent it to you.
Yeah.
And then you see the people, you know, beneath there, part of it. It just seemed like, wait, this seems like some influencer marketing hype, you know, where you pay someone to like promote your videos. So if they do something like that, you know, they'll still be relevant. But the money aspect wise, like unless the sales are fake or unless someone is providing them or they're an agent behalf of someone, I just don't see it as big. Maybe Fanatics can help prop this up, but I don't know.
Yeah. We're getting good comments. Sports card collector guy and card deal.
Yeah. Let's take a look at. This is LT agreed. New channel and a one-man. Let me exit this for a sec.
Yeah, it's a labor
one-man show here. When you have to get idea, script, record, edit, etc., it takes a lot of time. It's a labor of love and learning. Oh yeah, it's a hard process.
Yeah,
for sure.
I have something. Steve, we were talking earlier off before we went on. Remember I was telling you guys about my Target hunt today? Because you guys know I love to retail. And Steve said it. I don't know, bro, if you go out much to Target than Walmart's, but Steve, you said the same thing, right? Walmart's, you see just abundant supplies, right, available, right?
Yeah, I'm seeing, like, dude, like a year and a half ago, you didn't find anything.
No.
Now it's like when I don't go often, but like if I'm at Walmart, whatever, and I'll go through the aisles just to see, you know, but it's like, wow, there's actually product there and it's just sitting there now. It wasn't like that. So it's either overprinting, people are adjusting the market where it's like, I'm just not going to buy. No offense, LT. I know you do it for fun.
No, you're just not offended. No, I actually grip the cards.
There's no benefit in buying retail. I mean,
no, it's not. Yeah.
I'm not.
And you guys know on my IG, I rip the cards
it's
for
like,
fun.
There's literally no, you might as well just catch your money on fire. It's like, I guess you have a chance to pull something neat, but it's like you're not going to get more than like a $20 card. It seems like. So it's like, I get it's fun. It's like, it's almost, I would compare it like scratch offs.
Yeah, right.
Those become like scratch offs. And that's, I don't know. But
you
yeah, I have
noticed LCS and
you're
buying
seeing
a hobby
more
box.
product left on the shelves, I think. And this is a consequence of like the hobby boom. Again, it might not have been nefarious, but like, the way things happen with that boom, this isn't sustainable. People are not going to stay in this and they're not going to stay interested once they see the money isn't worth what they thought. And I guarantee you a lot of people feel duped by, well, we'll just say Panini, because it's like,
Yeah.
dude, they print this shit to the moon. They
Yeah.
sell you on so much fool's gold. They'll make you wait for Prism, but they'll sell you all this bullshit product in between in the meantime. And it's like, y'all are just trying to make a buck off me.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
I'm not going to buy Recon and Flux. Like, piss off. Like, but you
Or
can't get
Phoenix.
Prism out on time, Optic out on time.
yeah.
Like, come on, that's bullshit.
So there's another interesting thing that it just came to mind because I was at one of my LCSs. I was talking to one of my buddies there that works there, and he was telling me, and of course this is a good topic to go into with the kids, right? I got a young son that I'm trying to teach with cards, but with the LCS, my buddy I was talking to, he was like, yeah, there's a kid this other day that bought like a $40 box of cards or whatever, right? And then he went through it and he was disappointed. And his response was, my buddy was like, did you have fun ripping the cards and stuff? He's like, no, I didn't even make my money back, right? And that right there is a red flag. Like,
Yep.
You look at the influencers and the way fanatics and everything is going, the greed aspect in money is destroying that next generation because there's no love for collecting. It's just about that quick buck, like who sits there and just opens up and like, damn, didn't make my profit back, right? Now you hear from kids, like, you know what I mean? Like, what do you guys think with that?
I think all the big platforms that preach hobby positivity don't acknowledge these things. Like, I don't think kids are interested as they proclaim they want, and they want to grow the hobby. Everything they've done, the big platforms, as far as like, we're going to talk about investment and Wall Street and blah, 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 blah. Like, yo, this is a collectible.
Yeah.
Like, this is a collectibles hobby first. Like, sure, you can make money. That's not to say you can't, but it's like, this is a collectible first.
Yeah.
Like, the money that got poured in during the COVID boom, like, people were literally like, how do I want to say it? People were doubling down. Oh, if you buy it now, it's going to be worth this and this time. It's like, this has become so Wall Street. Raul talks about, like, he doesn't like comparing it with stocks. Like, you can kind of use stocks as a comparison in some aspects, but this is not stocks, man. And especially when the manufacturer's overprinting the stock, like, the stock's worthless.
Right. Well, the biggest thing is I'm curious, and this is not a flex or to degrade the influencers, but who in their right mind 10 years, depending on where the influencer market goes and where the card hobby goes. So when you put in your resume, I'm a YouTuber or sports card influencer, right? I really want to see what kind of job you'll get off selling sports cards. Simple as that. What do you guys think?
Dude, if they were to like pull up some of these videos and see the content, somebody would pay these puppets to dance for their influencer role. I wouldn't be surprised. I think it sounds
with their shirt off.
Me?
No, I'm just saying those influencers.
Yeah, subscribe to my OnlyFans, everybody. You can see my shirt off there.
Didn't Hobby Shark say that one of these female influencers?
Bro, the chick that's into Pokemon, odds are she has an OnlyFans on Instagram.
Oops.
There was a teacher that actually.
How about these people, the low cut shirts with the card? Look at my card. Here.
But
look at my card, or with their ass hanging out.
Right, let me see that card. Is that LeBron? What's that?
Yeah, I mean, like,
you know the hobby.
It's quite interesting, right? So we live in a society that if we speak up, what we're thinking in our mind, you could get not canceled, or people bring to you say, hey, you can't say this or that.
Yeah.
But like Steve was saying, that these female influencers, they have low cut tops. They're showing all these Pokemon cards, these sports cards.
Well,
question.
Yeah.
How many of these women influencers go to WNBA games?
Ooh. Good point. Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
How many of these women influencers can name 5 WNBA teams? But they want us to buy and support all this stupid shit.
Candace Parker went to the Vegas Aces.
I have no idea. You're supposed
hey,
to speak French to me.
That's probably the biggest thing I heard from WNBA. Right? Yeah.
I don't know. Nothing against women. Join the hobby. Nobody's gatekeeping you, but it's like, come on. There are so many women that got an OnlyFans that are into Pokemon. Somebody has to say it. Somebody's going to say it.
I think there's an
Just be
influencer
real
that
about it.
hires
And these girls who go around to shows and Daps uses hot girls to sell cards at shows. Like that's not. Don't talk about that with women. But if I say where are the women buying tickets for WNBA games or buying WNBA cards, and it's like you can hear crickets.
Stop being negative, man.
Yeah, man. That's not content. That's drama.
This pump of women in the hobby. Is this about marketing toward a demographic for profits, or is this really about you want women in the hobby? Because I think it's marketing. I don't believe they don't care who's getting.
They have their own hashtag. I think it's like 10 influencers.
Money in the hobby. They don't. All they care about is green entering the hobby. They don't care.
This is what Leighton. I think Leighton's wife. She started Women in the Hobby because they wanted basically a safe space for women because guys, they say all this stuff, right?
What does that even mean? A safe space?
No, I just use that term, safe space. So I was listening to this interview and they're just basically saying, hey, guys, are brash and, they wanted to create an environment for women where, there's some jerks out there in the hobby. So they wanted, to like get the women together, as a team. But I'm thinking like, is that really women for the hobby or is it something else?
It's marketing. Women own 2/3 of the debt. Don't you think these people who are running the industry see, hey, women are the ones spending the money. Let's branch out to that demographic. There's a lot of data that goes into this, but you just can't say it because, I'm not, I don't give a shit. I got nothing. I ain't Dave Chappelle. You can't cancel culture me, ladies. Sorry. But I'm just being honest. Like, women own 2/3 of the debt. This is about marketing. If we can get those women to spend money in our market, even at a certain percentage, we're going to gain. So and this is nothing dude, there are awesome chicks in the hobby. I've met them. Great collectors. Great for the hobby. It's not speaking to all women, but let's be honest. There are women that abuse the situation. And they're plugging OnlyFans. That's what it is.
I'm just thinking.
How many of these content guys, if they had the chance to do an OnlyFans, would do that for market? They're just not women. They won't make money. But a lot of guys, I'm being fair. There's a lot of guy influencers, the TikTok under 20 or under 30-year-old vibes. If they could get on OnlyFans and make money doing this shit, they'd do the same thing. So just to be fair.
So the thing is, I know I shouldn't be even saying this, but. Steve, you I don't know if you know this person too, LT. Have you heard of Lauren Southern?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. All right. So I think we were talking about this earlier, Steve. So earlier on, she was part of, YouTube. She gained a huge following on social media. And from the reports that I've heard, is that she used to basically sleep with all these male influencers, in the social media sphere to try to get attention. And then they used to, blast her name out saying, oh, okay, follow her, this and that. Yep. So she got huge, right? And she used all these guys to get attention. She was clout chasing. So I'm just thinking like, is this type of behavior going on in this hobby here where, these women are using, the guys to clout chase, get attention.
I don't know if it's like an actual physical transaction.
Yeah, not a physical transaction, but I'm just saying like
going on where you're taking advantage of guys,
yes,
that don't get that natural type of attention from women, and I do believe that. Yeah, it sounds like you're describing Kamala Harris as well. Don't ask Montel Williams. Don't ask Montel Williams.
So
Willie Brown.
So here's a funny alert I got.
Yeah.
If you guys can see, Mojo. Can you see that?
Collect more. What does it say?
Mojo just promoted the Santiago Seabless fight thing.
Things got heated on his YouTube.
Yeah, that was like 2 weeks ago because he was at Culture Collision. It's kind of funny, that clout, huh?
Oh yeah, wait, isn't he about hobby positivity? How's that hobby positivity?
So like, positive, that's drama.
So
Yep.
the thing is, this
That's the
dude.
best clip that Sports Card Radio
Yeah, I know.
uses when he's just that's drama.
Yeah. So this dude, so Curator, remember that thing going on with Curator and me over a year ago?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
Curator went on an IG stream, and then you had what's his name? Mojo. I think Curator deleted this from IG. But Mojo was on there, and Curator kept on saying that, oh, Mojo's the GOAT, this and that. And we know Mojo's past, right? Of, Getty Images and all that stuff. But he kept on calling him the GOAT. And then Mojo suggested that Curator should basically like assault me or something like that in the stream. So
Oh, nice.
yeah. So wait, that's hobby positivity?
Oh, well, you got buddies on your
Those
side, bro.
betas ain't doing shit.
Yeah, they're not gonna do stuff,
They're
but
not
I'm
gonna
just
do
saying.
shit, bro.
Yeah.
They're
These guys are a
doing
bunch
shit.
of beta bitches. They ain't gonna do shit. Especially we got your back.
No, but I'm just thinking like, wait, you're all about hobby positivity, but if you're about hobby positivity, would
All
you say
bark,
something-
no bite.
That's why I like.
That's
This is
these
why I
guys.
appreciate us. We'll at least keep it real.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's all
right,
bark, no
everybody
bite.
watching, this is what you get. You might not like it, but at least it's real.
Yeah, this is not scripted.
A lot of
This
these
is not
guys, this they're not real about shit.
No, Steve,
It's
it's
ridiculous.
it's a shame we don't have Hobby here because Hobby has a boxing background. I don't have to say what I have.
Flush your toilet, bro.
Dude, these guys, they wouldn't last in a pillow fight. I'm telling you right now.
That's what I mean. Like this whole Seabless, like seeing it, like I have
I
nothing.
give Seablay some credit. He's scrappy. He looks like he's scrappy. What do you think?
Bro, that fight, come on. I don't know. It'd be better if, like, at the moment, if there was real gas in that moment, something would have happened at the basketball game. This has all gotten to a point where it's just silly at this point. Although Seabless seems like a great guy, but I just those two fighting would be like senseless to a degree.
You wouldn't watch it if it was right there. You wouldn't sit there and tune in.
Honestly, honest to God, probably not. I think if I did,
Bro, would you watch it?
Yeah, I'd watch it.
Oh yeah.
Why not?
I don't know. I would almost feel like, I don't know. I would feel embarrassed almost if I watch it, to be totally honest. I'm not shitting on them guys. I'm not acting like I'm some Billy badass myself, but it's like I would feel embarrassed watching it, just to be honest. It's like when guys who I don't know. The reason they're talking about this beef is because neither one of them really, I don't think either one really wants to fight somebody.
No.
You know what
Absolutely
I mean?
not.
Hey, look, it's crooked.
If it were that bad or something, it would happen
on.
in that moment. You know what I mean? Like, at least with me, like I've been in fights, especially playing pickup basketball. Like, if shit is that bad, it's going to happen right then and there. You're not going to well, next week when I see you at the court, the beef is on. It's like, no, dude. Like, if something really happened, it's going to be addressed and settled right there.
Hey, our good friend Roth is going to do a PSA review tomorrow, so make sure you guys Make sure you guys stay tuned in there. Maybe he'll get tens.
So speaking of Roth, I think you sent me a post that he mentioned on IG, and I think a lot of young kids watch him. He says, if there's a card out there, you should just buy that card or something like that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm like, how could you say that?
Yeah, just go broke and buy it.
Yeah.
Don't even check comps.
Yep.
Just buy it.
Just buy it. Just sit there and let it depreciate in value and then offload it when you can no longer hold the bag.
So wait, if we say that, is that hobby negativity?
Bro,
Scrutinizing that?
Everything is.
If we go by the cult of the hobby, like, narrative, everything we've said since we started this live has been negative.
I love you guys. Like I said,
I love it. Yeah, I love it.
Part misfits.
Like,
Alpha males.
If you want to label us as negative, I'll take that. Fine. I'm negative.
I don't give a shit. I have nothing to lose in this.
Do you think all these? So this is a thing that I'm thinking. All these people that are saying, "Oh, negative this, negative that." Do you think that they have? Is that feminine to say that? Oh, you're being negative like that, or no? No.
Bro, you're baiting me, bro. You just
I don't know.
get out of me, bro.
It's kind of like being called a bigot.
Man, this is like entrapment. Yeah. I'll just say yes. I'll keep it. I've been talking a lot today. I would say yeah. I think it's feminine energy to. That's just my opinion. People might not like it, but I think when you like label something as negative based off your feelings, yeah, that's beta. That's feminine.
It is.
Because a masculine quality would be like, yo, and I take this because I played sports. When I had coaches that, I mean, chewed my ass out. You know what I mean? Like you have to have a masculine drive after. It's just like, okay, I need to get this done. I need to be better. I need to do this. Like, I don't know.
No,
Your
Steve.
feelings aren't involved at that point. It's like there's a job. This is the goal. This is what you need to do. You need to get it done. And no excuses. Like your feelings don't matter.
It doesn't, because I'm close to retirement out of the military, right? And I can't tell you how many freaking times I wanted to break down, but I had to sit there and drive through, right? And it is tough. It ain't easy, right? And I'm sure in Raul's world of accounting, I'm sure you've had hard days, man, and dealing with that kind of BS stuff. But that's the reality of it. It's not rainbows and butterflies. That's life for you, right? And I think that's what kids, especially following these influencers and stuff, is that they have to understand. I would appreciate someone, and that's why I respect to Raul, right? Is that someone who breaks down charts and the numbers. Guess what? You know what? We're in a down recession right now, right? Hey, here's how much I lost right here. Oh, you know what? This was a mistake I made, right? You never see people talk about their losses or, I lost so much money on that. You never see that, bro. That's life.
That would be a masculine quality.
That's life.
It would be a masculine quality to come out and say, look, this is where I messed up. Learn from my mistakes. This is where I was listening to so-and-so. I was taking this advice. This was the wrong advice. It's very masculine to admit fault, because I've noticed in society, men have to deal with accountability a lot more different. Like the world doesn't give us understanding. That's why when you ask that question about, is that a feminine trait? I believe so, because a natural masculine man in this world, like the world, you don't get a shoulder to cry on. And that's not to say like, oh, you can't say anything and, you should just suppress everything. No, but how much understanding do men really get in society? It's not very much. You know what I mean? And accountability hits us square in the face in the dating market, in the money market, in the job market. Like reality hits a man square in the chin, and he's expected to pick himself up and move on to the next fight. You don't have time to cry. You don't have time to waste, because I've noticed a man's worth is his merit and what resources he can produce. So like you have to be accountable living in that realm.
I just thought about is now you got me all happy, Steve. You got me all emasculated and thinking of this stuff. Is one of my favorite movies is 300, right?
Oh, that shit's hard.
Great movie, right? It was the Spartans, right? What was it against? They were against the Greek, right? Was it against the Greek?
It
what
was
the Spartans. I know the Spartans, but
Persian Empire. It would have been the Persian Empire.
But you remember Xerxes, right? I kind of think of the card influencer world, right? Xerxes would be what, Ken Golden, Jeff Wilson, right? And then Leonidas is like SCR, right? Or Raul, right? And then Raul or SCR is like recruiting. Let's just use Raul, like recruiting the 300 army, right? Like you, me, Javi, and whoever, and we're going up against there. Like where it's not, you're not seeing these great movies like in today's society, right? And I'm saying it loosely because we all have similar views, but I don't really care, what people think with today. But I was just thinking, like, when have you seen a really good movie that shows masculinity, right?
It doesn't happen.
I can't think of anything today.
It doesn't happen.
I mean,
just
it was Top Gun. Was Top Gun the last Top Gun?
Like that? I didn't see the new one, so
I haven't seen it either. I heard it was really good.
It was one of the better movies.
You're talking about 300, dude. That I couldn't agree more. That shit is so hard. Like the idea of men fighting against all odds, willing to lay their life. This, LT, because of your service.
Thank you.
Again, thank you. But like the idea of a group of men outnumbered, outflanked, and I'm going to literally stand up, fight, and die for what I believe in.
Yeah.
That's as masculine and as righteous as you can be. And to be honest, it's the woke culture. Woke culture hates masculinity. That's why I'm so hard on feminism. Feminism at its grassroots, you can argue, had a purpose, fine. But today, this is not about Name me one feminine thing about feminism.
Last I checked, women want.
Seriously,
Last I checked,
name me one feminine biological thing about feminism, because it doesn't represent femininity. It doesn't. It represents, I hate men, the patriarchy, even though we built the damn world and tamed it for everybody. But like, I agree. Even if you look at TV sitcoms, the dad's always the dunce idiot and the mom runs the house. Like they're trying to rid a culture of masculinity.
Do you think that the power structure is doing that
100%.
just because they want China to be number one? I think that's what it's all about.
It has to do with China. Yeah.
Have you noticed that all those countries that are dictated are males?
So what's that?
All those communists and countries are run by males.
Yeah.
Oh, I just had to bring that up. No, enough said.
You know what's crazy is women love a badass. They don't talk about that in feminism. They try to make women into being the badasses, but in all reality, biologically, women like a badass.
Yeah, they like a bad boy. Yep.
They want a savage. Become a monster and learn to tame the beast. That's what young men should aim to do. Be a monster and learn to tame the beast.
I think a lot of
man who has the potential to be dangerous is an asset. A man who can control that is a very big asset. That means he has righteousness on his side. If you can control that, then you're a good man. A weak man is not a good man.
So, I've noticed that a lot of young men today, they just do what their wives want them to do. I mean, some things, okay, I understand.
Beta. Go ahead.
But it's like guys can't be themselves. And I think one of my wife's friends told my wife, she said that, hey, why does Rahul speak his mind? His views are unacceptable. And, she's a hardcore feminist. I'm like, I say whatever I want. No one can control what I want. That's why I married my wife, because I say whatever I want and she's fine with it. We disagree at times, but she at least respects.
Well, and that's the difference between, and Steve, I know you read your rant on masculinity, right? But it's also about being a gentleman, right? And that's not to quote the fake curator, because he's beat.
That's why I say tame the beast.
That's not the epitome of, that's a beta all day. But you can have an alphaness, a macho-ness, a masculinity, but at the same time, you can still be a gentleman, right?
Exactly.
Just like you said, Rahul.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you don't just, but you're still respectful. I'd have disagreements with my wife all the time, but we still have civil conversations, right?
Right.
But the old term, right, chivalry is not dead, right? I will still open doors for women, right?
Right.
Chivalry's dead, my brother. Feminism killed that shit.
Yeah, it's the simple stuff like that. And now today, like I got thanked today by an Amazon. She worked for Amazon, and she thanked that I opened the door, right? But there's times I've had it where they'll sit there like, I don't need you to open. I don't need a man to do this. I don't need to open the door. It's like, whoa, like what kind of society we're in now? And I agree with you, Steve, right there. It's like
they're stripping, and this is where I'd say feminism is not about femininity. It doesn't. If think about this in the chat, prove me wrong. Name me one thing feminism stands for that's feminine. They want women to become men, enter the market, and become part of the slave labor of the United States. They want you in the marketplace. They want to tax you. That's what they want. People, you don't want to talk about this stuff. Do you think biologically women are looking at 35 years old saying, oh, I'm so glad I'm into my career and da. I bet you they want kids and a good man. I bet you that's really what they want.
So I think what happened in the 1970s.
Real quick, sorry, don't cut you off. The data supports me. Women are more depressed, on more drugs. It's showing. Like this whole independent bad bitch thing, Cardi B, go get your back. It's leading to more depressed women, more single women, more childless women, and it's just against their biology. They're not happy.
The thing is, the 1970s, you had stagflation just like we have right now. And then even at that time, what happened was the economy was able to function to a certain degree because women started to go into the workforce more than they did before, right? So then the 80s, you saw, the system totally change, with Reagan, and more women came into the workforce. And then now we're at a point where, okay, a lot of people are maximizing their debts, and the system is crumbling. So it's just quite interesting how Federal Reserve money printing has created all this mess, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, that's.
But let's look at some comments here.
How much longer are you guys planning on going?
Like
69 minutes.
What happened? 5 minutes?
No. I said 69 minutes.
I'm gonna cut off in probably 5, so I wasn't sure if you guys.
Yeah, we'll probably cut off in 5 minutes.
I'm down with that. We can wrap up.
This was great, by the way. I can't wait to the next one. Maybe we'll do it on my channel.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm probably gonna get crushed on my Instagram. People will be like, "I can't believe you said that about women." Oh my god.
Well, let's see if they make it to 2 hours into this conversation. I mean, you have to still watch. We've already gone 2 hours.
I have a 9-figure bank account.
This crooked. Wait, Steve. In all seriousness, will people come message you about this?
I've had people say shit to me about, dude, I've posted what I want on my story. I've had people reach out to me about,
you're more raw than me?
You hate women or you're anti-woman. It's like, no, I love women enough to be honest with y'all. I'm not putting up with that shit. And I'm not, I'm on record, dude. I'm probably not going to get married. I'm not marrying an American woman. I'm not doing it.
Steve, are you sure your story's as bad as mine?
Bro. They are insane. Can I get dates and all that shit? Sure. I work real hard. I take care of my resources. I can make a muscle. I'm well spoken. I'm very confident. Believe it or not, feminists, you guys like that shit. But people will come at me. They come at me because I'm Christian. I've had stuff because I'm Christian. I'll post stuff on my story because I'm Christian. People don't like that. People don't like that I say what I say about feminism. People don't like some of the stuff I say about the hobby. And I don't give a shit. But you know what? I don't block anybody. I don't delete them. If it's worth it, I'll engage a little bit. At least to be like, hey, you may not understand where I'm coming from. I'll explain where I'm coming from. And if you don't like it, then that's on you.
Well, there's too many betas.
I've noticed this is the one thing that's cringy. I've had more guys cape up to defend women against me. I can't believe you posted that. It's like, bro, you ain't getting laid. You ain't getting laid because you're fighting me in the DM. Sorry. Like, I'm going to tell you right now, like, I'll get laid before you going out to a bar talking my shit before you caping up to me in my DMs or caping up for feminism in my DMs.
So
you ain't getting laid, bro. Chill.
You guys know how raw my stories are.
Go do some push-ups.
So I know Raul's trying to keep the piece together, but you know how raw my stories are. I know you guys love my IG. But I'll put it on purpose. I'll put little comments like on my story that I'm watching people's accounts and stuff, right? Because I know who watches my stuff, right? Because it's easy to sit there and watch people's stories and everything and not engage, right? But we know who's watching, because I know Raul has a pretty good following. I know you have some big people that watch you in the hobby.
I gotta be honest, bro. Like I don't know. I don't think my Instagram shit. I honestly don't know how many followers I have. I don't know how big it is. I really don't know my true reach. I know I'm shadow banned because I post certain things that I believe in. So I know I've been shadow banned to a degree, but like and the thing is, I have nothing to really lose. I don't make content. I don't have a channel. Thank you, Raul, because whatever gusto I have in the hobby, it's probably because I'm coming onto your channel, giving my ideas and thoughts. So really, credit goes to you. I don't do anything. I don't clout chase. I don't want that attention. I mean, I'll happily give my free thoughts, but I don't know if people get at me in the DMs and disagree, that they have every right to. So,
hey, Steve, didn't you say that you knew some people and you said that, hey, I'm going on AIH's program, and then they just stopped associating with you or something like that? Is that true?
Oh, no. What I said was, I think it was before we talked, like I posted that I was going to be on your channel, and other content people started reaching out to me.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
nobody disassociated. It was just
Oh, okay. I
other
thought you said
content.
that you
It's
knew
almost like it
someone
struck
in
a
New
match
York.
where it's like, I don't know if it was like curious, true curiosity where it was like, hey, Steve's doing content now, or if it was like, oh man, I kind of want to see what they're going to talk about. So I don't know. It's,
No.
you know.
Interesting.
I'm gonna head out soon.
All right.
But I appreciate your guys' time. I can't wait to do this again.
I agree.
And I'm gonna be live tomorrow with Chris from Baseball Card Collector.
Oh,
Investor Dealer
nice.
What
at
time?
9 a.m.
What time? 9
9
a.m.
a.m. tomorrow Pacific time.
Okay, I'll try to
So,
tune in.
Yeah, if you guys have time. But my good friends, gentlemen, I very much appreciate you guys. It was great
Make sure
talking.
you plug my OnlyFans account.
I will. I'll slide into your DMs. Don't worry, I got you.
Oh.
All right, guys, I'm out of here.
Feminism. Take care, LT. God bless,
All right.
brother.
See ya. Yeah. All right. You want to go on for 5 minutes, or you want to head off? Doesn't matter.
We can do one more question or one more, whatever. I got about 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Okay. I mean, not many people on right now. So yeah. So you know how I was talking earlier about like there's all these conspiracy theories out there, and people say you're a nut job. You know, you're like a Q guy and all that stuff. But I started to see things over a decade ago. I don't know when your red pill moment, came about, but I remember, and I could talk about it, it's late in the show, but remember Andrew Breitbart, right before he got the so-called heart attack, right? So he was supposed to do an expose on like all these establishment people, right? And then what ended up happening was once he was supposed to label this bombshell news, he got a heart attack. And then like a year before, he was going after this Podesta guy, right? And then he's saying all these crazy things on Twitter. They're still there. I can't read them on YouTube because, YouTube has all these things, right? So like, I'm just thinking like, I saw things like over a decade ago, like this doesn't make sense. And now I'm going to sports cards. People are saying like, wait, you're saying crazy stuff. I'm like, no, I'm not saying crazy stuff. I mean, I've seen 10 times crazier stuff in the real world. So I don't know.
They locked up Julian Assange. I know.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. For what? Allegedly.
Is that another ironic coincidence that goes?
Yeah. A coincidence.
Yeah.
He met this one girl, right? Who was probably CIA, right?
Probably, most likely.
Yeah,
Bro, there's one thing we can see. I said it earlier. I was watching the ex-Twitter execs, Vijaya Gotti and that Baker and those other guys.
Yoel Roth.
Yeah, Roth, all those guys that were in like, dude, like you can't trust this. It's all propaganda. They're censoring you. Like, I'm not surprised they're gonna hide what they can, and they're going to work with the government, the DOJ. Like, it's been weaponized. So yeah, like there's a reason that somebody had a heart attack and Julian Assange is in jail now, and like,
Yeah, I mean, we've seen this. Like, I mean,
we can correlate it to the hobby because it's like the same people who were indicted in certain cases or like involved in certain cases are still a prominent figure and living healthily in this hobby.
Yeah, like this morning,
it's not the exact same context as what we're talking about, but it's similar as far as like you have enough reach and pull and money to back your name and your brand. So yeah, you're going to survive the windstorm of bullshit.
Yeah, and like I did a video this morning. I don't know if you saw it. It's about shill bidding, and the Mastro case, the documents. It says that Ken Golden assigned an item, and then for a lot of the items, the shill bidder on that document was the same person. So what's the odds of that happening all the time? Could it just be a coincidence, like the heart attack coincidence, or?
And this is what I'd say. Like you can't. It's the same thing with like bigger government situations we're dealing with now. You can literally see you can see it black and white. You can see it, and it's like I don't know what's going on with people's brain where like they just aren't accepting of it. I don't know, man. I don't know. And they still want to trust certain institutions. And in this case, I think he could be considered an institution in this hobby. They just want to blindly trust these things. I just don't live in that ideology. So like you don't either. That's why
Yeah.
we get along and we say the things we do. But
Right.
there's a lot of people that I do think to a degree are maybe totally naive to it. But then I do think there's a certain amount of people that like they have money invested in this hobby. And if the hobby is getting money poured into them, they have a net gain benefit. So like why are they gonna like why would they stop to talk about fraud or potential wrongdoings in the hobby when literally their stake is in the benefit of the hobby flourishing financially?
Yeah.
Like
I mean, like if
they
I'm
all
in,
say hobby positive and they want kids in it and they want it to grow, but like you only want it to grow if it comes at your bottom line. Let's be frank. You don't care about kids. Let's be honest. They don't care about, because if they did care about the kids in the hobby, all this Wall Street talk wouldn't have been going on during the boom.
oh yeah,
People
exactly.
didn't care about kids. They didn't care about all that shit. They cared about investments. They cared about stock comparisons, and that's what I mean. That's where I feel like, and then the same people that preach hobby, don't you want the hobby to grow? And it's like, do you think growing the hobby with all this entry point buying in is a good thing? Because I don't think long term it's a good thing. It's not how you're going to grow it. You just want it pumped. You want to cash out, or you want your name involved in the branding of this hobby. You want your face on all these platforms. Like, it's self-interest, and you're masking it with hobby positivity, growing the hobby. It's like when you say growing the hobby, you really mean I want to grow my name or brand or grow my bank account. And
Oh
again,
yeah.
I'm not against those things, but it's like, don't bullshit me.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, maybe we'll leave it on this note is that I want the hobby to grow, obviously, like you do, but I want it to grow in a sustainable way. I don't want it to grow in an irrational way that it did in 2020 and 2021. And then some people who are heavily invested saying, you can't say that. That's negative for the hobby. That's bad for the hobby. And, when I invest, I want everything thrown at me. I want the good news. I want the bad news. I want, indifferent analysis. I want to listen to everyone. I don't want to like put my blinders on and only listen to, oh yeah, if throw the negative people out, that's bad. We only got to stay together and gatekeep. I mean, that's crazy. That's you don't make money that way.
I can help fanatics, and I'm stupid. I'm open. I'm dumb, but I can help fanatics. You want the hobby to grow? Do you really want it to grow? Focus on collecting. This is a collector's market. These pieces of cardboard that you print that you see green, because I know it's about money, you have to appease the collector. You can't overprint. You got to keep the local card shops involved. There's a lot of things. If you want the hobby to actually grow, not saying you want it to grow, but you have this back end Wall Street agenda. But if you actually want it to grow, you have to attack. Here's the pyramid. At the top is the collector. Then underneath you have flippers and all these other entities within the hobby. But at the top of the pyramid, you need to focus on collectors. And how do you do that? Make things scarce and rare. Make patches real. Make the collector want to collect this stuff instead of saying, oh, I'm going to get this on the trend and flip it. Because that's what this is. That's what growing the hobby is. We're going to get young kids with their Zion cases. And all this has become is, let me get this as soon as it comes off first off the line and flip it for the most I can. If you want to appease the market and you really want it to grow, you have to dedicate and focus on the collector. You can't overprint run shit. If you are going to overprint run shit, leave it to the low garbage stuff. Let kids buy in there. Let them buy the Flux and the Recon and the Chronicles because it's in their price range. But like, if you do want collectors involved, keep the stuff that's valuable, serial numbered. Stop with these bullshit parallels. Like, keep the print runs within reason and disclose the print runs so the collector knows, this is really rare. Like, that's just my 2 cents. And I'm an idiot. I premise this as a complete and total idiot. But you have to appease the collector. This is a collectible. Like, that's first and foremost. You have to appease the collector. That goes to grading companies, everybody. Like, you have to appease the collector first if you really want the hobby to grow. If you want the hobby to grow, you're going to want kids to say, I want to buy this to keep it, not buy it to flip it immediately to try to get my 10%, 15%. It's like, that's not a collectible. You're playing trends and shit. You're playing like penny stocks.
Well said. Well said.
Man, I've done a lot of ranting tonight. I apologize.
Yeah.
I've been like,
I always get that out of you, man.
Just fucking popped.
Yeah. All right. Before I let you go, Steve, where can people follow you again?
If you want to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram at Splenda's Sports Cards. If you don't, that is perfectly fine. I have nothing to gain out of this.
And if you're a sensitive person, don't follow him. If you're a sensitive person, don't follow LP.
If you're sensitive, that's fine. You have every right to be, but like, don't bring your bullshit in my DMs. Don't cry to me.
Exactly.
I don't care. And like, I'm not gonna change the way I speak or what I do coming on Raul's platform. Like, I go watch somebody that you do enjoy. That's, I have nothing to gain out of this. Like I said, I can't even tell you how many followers I have. It doesn't matter to me. I appreciate the friends I have, the cards I collect, the conversation, like the real conversation. That's what I get out of this. So if you would like to follow me, you can. If not, God bless you either way. I wish everybody the best.
Yep. All right, Steve, thanks for coming on again.
Absolutely, brother. You take care.
You too.